Hello, it's Sunday morning, MGTOW. I didn't change that. I could change that for like a minute. Sunday morning, MGTOW. Everybody go your own way, go your own way. I got to do this opposite because the screen flips me around. So I don't know if that looks all right. Go your own way, mate. I have to do it with my left hand, and I'm sort of retarded with my left hand. Uh, Hello. How's everybody doing out there? And I'm going to have to check for act. Hello. How's everybody doing out there? Okay, we got actual sound and everything. Hey, we came in and there was the whole concept was missing, and I was like, something's wrong here. So Juliette Lewis will be in later. Like we got our we've got our contract fulfilled, and she gave the approval to go on, and Claire, the Claires gave approval. And we're going to talk a little bit about the bait and switch and what I call the invitation to bargain and relationships and everything. You're going to get an invitation to bargain, but that's not an express contract, and that contract has a tendency to change if it's not written down, which most of them aren't. They're verbal contracts most of the time. Anytime you're dealing with that kind of concepts. It's a verbal contract, and what it becomes is an express contract with the state. And most guys don't know that. How do you feel about that, Joe?
Yeah, it's a classic bait and switch. It's like you're getting involved in, I talked to SFM about codependency yesterday. So you're putting yourself up in a spot where you're losing more and more of your freedom, and then you're entangled with these douchebags, the state being the ultimate douchebag, and then any female is obviously going to be a problem. So so you want to I think you want to get towards maturity and personal development and happiness and early retirement. You get away from all that stuff.
Yeah. Hank says someone blocked his last comment, but I can see it. Can you see Hank's last comment?
Oh, I didn't block it.
No, there's
blocked my last comment. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if he's talking about on a page or something. A lot of comments get blocked on my when these things go. Like I would say that 50% of the comments that come through I can see, and all of a sudden they're gone. And that's in the low bar. Nothing. If you've been posting on any of my videos, you'll notice most of them disappear, and that's YouTube just takes them off. I don't know why. I just get so censored, and that's one of the ways they censor me is people can't comment on my stuff, and they think that I'm doing that, and then they blame me for that, so they go away. It's like, so sorry about that. That's one of the ways they use to shadow ban me, and they'll make it look like I did something, but nobody gets blocked. Every comment. I even let what's her name? What was the one that showed up? Carly. I even let Carly comment. It's like, but
who's probably a man. I mean,
Carly's comments always show up, and a lot of my subscribers. And I think if there's a problem with the subscription too, a lot of the subscriptions won't show. It's either or, and I can't quite figure it out because it's too complex. It has to do with their algorithms and stuff. And sometimes things that you say will get censored. And it's 100% on YouTube, but I don't do. Oh, that was one of the things I had to agree to come back on YouTube after I got. I had to agree to a contract to come back on YouTube where they would moderate, and that's what I'm stuck with, and that never has gone away. I get stuck down in the onion. I'm bleeding subscribers, and I've been bleeding subscribers for years. So it's just one of the things I have to deal with. It is funny. Did I show you that, Joey? What they said to me?
No.
They said, I'll paraphrase, because I can't remember. They put it up, and they'll send me little notices that come up, and they said you'll be allowed to come back on because your things have been taken care of, but we still don't trust you.
You have to be a good boy.
Yeah, and they said that in plain language too. But we still don't trust you.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I had to agree to terms, and then I agreed to the terms, and then the terms are what the terms are for me, and they're like special terms for people they don't like and want to censor.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Hank, if something doesn't come through, it's just not on me. I would let every comment, and that was my policy always, to let, if guys argue, let them argue. If somebody comes in, let it work out, and never censor anybody. I don't have anybody banned. I have that one guy banned. What was his name?
Oh, Andre or something?
Oh, it was like Meat Pockets or something like that. He had some weird name, and then I didn't see it. Oh, Cocaine Salesman or something like that. Something cocaine. And
Andre Cocaine. Yeah, I think
Ombre Cocaine. I blocked that one to make sure that, because I didn't know what he was gonna say or something. But it just might be innocent, and I'll let it. If he turns out to be like the other guy, Luigi, which actually started getting it after a while, what I was saying.
Yeah, I think Luigi's probably okay. I mean,
and that's what I was saying about giving
the
new guys a chance to. Sometimes they're going to come in, they're going to be like halfway in, halfway out of MGTOW, and then you just got to give them a chance to just sit around and argue through these things, because that's what men, and that's why I rely on the people that come in to do the argument with them. So and be cordial yet, critical, and then say this is not quite right, and keep them around. But that's up to the commentors. I don't change anything on that. Yeah. Okay. So back to the invitation to bargain and everything. And it was that's what you begin with a female, and that doesn't quite represent the and it's a lot. This happens a lot in life, so it's good to know about sales. You have to delve into sales, and that's your topic, Joey, because there's a lot of tricks in sales, and that's what women are doing to MGTOWs, right?
Yeah, they're selling the dream. They're selling they're selling that they're unicorns, and your life's going to be better. See, it's funny because they're trying to tell you that your life will be better if you go into business with them,
right.
business with them as the females, and in the state also.
And that's the narrative that gets pushed by
but they're letting go. The stuff. Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
The narrative gets pushed by the media. The narrative, it's not their narrative. Sometimes they don't even have to say nothing. Basically, it's just an assumed part of the deal that your life is going to get better. You'll have more income. She'll work. She's not going to she's not going to sabotage the relationship. She's not going to do this. But that's not generally true. That's just an invitation. You have an invitation to bargain, but you're bargaining when you do sign that contract. You're signing a contract with the state for her parentage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the real contract, and that's the one that you should know about, what the laws are and the norms. The norms follow the laws, or the laws follow the norms. And the implied contracts, social contracts, are the ones that get us, because we don't know the social contract. What is the social contract? And it's like so ambiguous that it could be anything at any time.
Yeah, I mean, we like women are dependents. I mean, that's
right.
Obvious. You lose your. For me, I think I'm at the point now. I just want to retire early, and so that program is actually on point. And if I were to, get away from that goal, I would, like if I were to get married or get into a long-term relationship or whatever, like that, my goal to retire early is you're never going to retire. You just think it's always going to be, you're always going to have that attachment. So detaching is, I think, where it all starts, having the mentality that I'm going to detach and because that just leads to a better quality of life. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't.
I'm just letting you go. I was that you have to really delve into these things, and they're not teaching these things in school. They're not teaching common sense that that there is this Christianity contract that you sign to, or this what religion is, and they'll argue that we are all Christians in America, but that's not true, and that should never be. But the laws and the social contract follow that, and it's thought of in the court system as chivalry is thought of as a law, and that's in group. That's in group morality is what I always explain that for. If you want to be in our group, chivalry is a part of it, and chivalry is the group, and we're the chivalrous white knight males, and we're going to protect the girls and go to the war and all that stuff, and that's an assumed contract, but that's the one they will enforce too.
Yeah, which is why, like I was talking to SFM like for briefly yesterday. We're talking about addictions and how, codependency and all these kind of things, mm-hmm. and so they want you to be addicted, and
right, they want you to be addicted.
And then so the addiction, like, so that's like a bait and switch thing where once they get you addicted to something, so in this case you'd be addicted to a female, right? You'd be addicted to the big boobs or whatever, split V. And that's how they hook you in, and then that's the codependency.
Yeah, them are Orient stripper slave girls.
Yeah, because that's why I was thinking about that today. Like that's why they push all these addictions in the media, and whether it be gambling or drinking or drugs or split V's or whatever. What are some other common addictions? I don't know, but like
gambling and
just whatever it is. They want you to get to that mindset of addiction. And then, and once they get you hooked in, then they got you. Right?
They got you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because now it's like the job becomes so important because you need the money to feed your addictions, right?
Right, to keep that what you got. And there's value added to that too. I know you know the concept of value added to it, and that's a value added concept where you want to keep what you got and everything, and then they're going to add some additional values through this social thing. You won't get ostracized and being in the group, and you'll be accepted. Yeah. And
and that's why a lot of people that if they the society sees you as this independent, early retirement, whatever, right? It's like, oh, you're like the life of Riley. What was the thing? The life of Riley. You're just actually enjoying life.
Yeah.
Like you're seen as irresponsible, and you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. The movie we were talking about with the Matthew McConaughey thing is you're seen as a burden or irresponsible when actually you're adding something to that, and that's all not. It's Briffault's law too. At a certain point, anything you've done in the past doesn't matter, and everything's in the past.
Yeah, that's why I think every goal, like I always talk about, this early retirement should be a goal for every man. Try to be as independent as possible. No debt. Now, if you're in debt, hey, listen, it is what it is. I would just pay the minimum. I wouldn't kill yourself to get out of debt. I would just try to build up your own net worth. Yeah. Like you can build up your own wealth and make good investments and try to get out of debt that way. But the idea is never to really go into debt, because that's just that's just kind of like getting married. Like buying a house with a big mortgage, that's like getting married. You're married to that house. You're a slave to that house.
Yeah.
So just stay out of debt and try to build up your wealth the best you can, and then try to retire early. There's no reason for a man not to retire at 40. There really isn't. Not if you learn these things in your teenage years, you should be able to retire around 40. You really should. Yeah.
I should have had enough money to be able to do that, but I didn't pay attention to the way things really were. And then I lost it. It's like, but right now, at the rate of pay that you're going to make and everything as a male is much, much higher right now. And what you need to actually retire seems to have come down a little bit. So there's very good value right now for men in their 20s to work till they're 40, and then look at retirement, or at least a substantial amount of time off. And that's the way I always present it, is like, if you work a year, you should be working a year to take a year off.
Yeah, and that's why the MGTOW program works, because if you don't do the MGTOW program, forget it. You're going to be working probably to your into your 60s or 70s. And I know some doctors that are working into their 80s.
Yeah.
Because your bills go way up, and expectations for like for her, if you have children, that's more dependence. And then not only that, but your grandchildren, and oh, I'm doing it. How many times have you heard that? People say, I'm doing it for my grandchildren. That's why I'm keeping working. Well, what about yourself? Like, what are you just going to work yourself until you die? Like, when you have any time to enjoy the things you want to do?
Yeah, men, unless they run into a physical disability where something starts hurting, and doctors are very low on the bar of running into a physical disability because they have the best healthcare and they don't really do strenuous work, so they can keep that. And with that is the epistemology standpoint, where they can't realize. A lot of people that set our laws too are people that can't realize what it is for working people. Disability. You work 20 years. If you work 20 years, say at Coca-Cola, chucking boxes, chucking cases, how long is your body going to last? And
right, shoulder, back, yeah.
You're going to have shoulder, back injuries. You're not going to be, so you're going to have to transition into a different sort of work after that. But man, that gets, even that, when your body's had, I mean, is a different story, and most kids, I would say 90% of the people out there, 90% of the men are going to start in one of these jobs where your physical endurance is what you're selling.
Yeah, so retire as early as possible. I mean, if you're listening to this and you're a man and you're not married and have no children, you should kiss the ground and. But now come up with some goals. And I wrote down some goals I had today. I wrote down some goals I wanted to do, and you should probably update that every month. Just kind of every few months, figuring out what you want out of life. But yeah, those entanglements, that bait and switch entanglement of marriage, long-term relationship, it's just a lot of stress. Like, that's the thing, I think a lot of men don't understand the stress. Like, I was talking to RP about this last night. We're talking about they don't even know the stress that they're under or something like that. Like you know what I mean? It's like they think it's normal to have all this stress, but it's really not.
Yeah, I was watching a movie that came out yesterday on Amazon. It was Jolt or something like that. It was a strong girl, and she had intermittent what was that? She was fasting? Violent. Yeah, she was
intermittent fasting.
Intermittent something disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, which is basically men and simps have it.
Emo. Oh, the emo thing or whatever.
No, it's just they explode. And they were blaming it on cortisols and they were making cortisols like attractive. It's like, I have high cortisols, that's why I do that. And they made it into a trendy sort of thing. Now these people are going to run, and cortisols are emitted into your body when you have stress.
Yeah.
And you should know about that. You should know about that feeling. They're horrible for your body.
Right. And that's your body triggering you to make an adjustment somewhere, your mind, body, whatever, soul, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to make some type of change, because we're not supposed to be living under that type of stress every day. No way.
Right. Yeah. Now you could examine the whole thing at childbirth. When a child is born, you can imagine that process for the child, not the mother, and even the mother too, is it's just a whole stressful situation for that child. And they have these cortisols that are admitted. Now, most children lose them cortisols within 2 years. Now, these things are extended for some children too, and you run into problems with that stuff. So it's good to learn those things and how the endocrinology of the brain works and what does that. And it's stress. Stress is horrible for men. Men deal with it over a lengthy period of time too. So it's Darth Vader voices.
Yeah. I was just talking about the chat.
Oh, is that a joke, or I was Vadering?
No, it's a joke. Yeah,
hey, Joey, it's
a friend of ours that who's actually a good guy, but he's disappeared.
Yes, I'll just sit back here and listen, Joey.
But yeah. What were you saying about cortisol levels? You're right. It's like we're supposed to actually be living into our close to 100 or over 100. If you have a low stress life from probably birth to to eventually die, like you should probably get around 100. Like you really should. But the thing is, you introduce a woman into your life, or
Right.
and then now you're introducing the state, and then now you know what I'm saying. Like you got all these issues. You're gonna have all these issues. Like you can never get away from it. Like and then I'm at the point I don't even really watch a lot of movies or media anymore. I'm just kind of done. That's why I kind of make fun of that Juliette Lewis thing, because look how, I mean, it took me, like she's probably one of the ugliest freaking women ever on the planet, and then like everyone thinks she's good looking, but anyway, but Claire likes her, But the thing is, no, I'm just joking around about that. But the thing is, like these media, the way I see is like they just want to push addictions on people. It's like codependency. So the addiction's a codependency, and now you're kind of stuck in this thing where you're not really making good decisions, right? And then now you're attached. You're attached to these crazy people and crazy things, like absurdity. It's almost like you're attached to the absurdity of the society.
Yeah, it's easier to ignorance is bliss. It's easier not to pay attention to the absurdity of society than it is to stress yourself about them. And we talked about that with Sapolsky. Sapolsky was saying that about the dopamines and the lead up to disappointment, and then your dopamines rise, and then anything you're going to get from those situations is not, it's before. And whether it's stress too, is your cortisol levels will rise and your stress levels will rise, and you have to be aware of those things as a male.
Yeah, and like my friend, like, so a lot of these people I went to college with and stuff, they're all living in these big houses and got these big jobs, but like I look at their stress levels and so they got these 3,000, 4,000 square foot houses, but like I'm sitting here, I don't need that. I just need like a room and a bed, it's like I had the same education as them. I had the same job opportunities, but so when I fell into that trap when I was like in my early 30s to buy this nice house and all this kind of stuff, but I really never needed that. I was just kind of going along with what they were doing, I think, in a lot of ways. But the thing is, you take a step back and you just realize that you don't really need a lot of material things. And that's another thing they push too, is consumerism, of course.
Yeah, well, consumerism, they've replaced it's like, I've got this thing now, and it's a replacement for happiness. And it's not really happiness. Having a boat is just a problem sometimes. You got to repair, like you said, your house is just it owns you.
Right, it owns you. Right. That's the first thing I got when I left my buddy's house in Daytona Beach the other day. Like he's got this, 3,000 square foot house, like a quarter. You could walk to the beach there, but the first thing the house is so big, it's like so out of place. Like it's like I felt, that's the first thing that came to my mind, was that this house owns him. He doesn't own the house. Yeah, and that's a terrible place to be. And it's the same thing with women in marriage, right? The woman owns the man. It's not a mutual thing where
I was just getting to about Star Trek Enterprise, the last like 4 or 5 episodes of it, when they started getting into who really is the slave here. And I think that's why they took them off of air, because they went on to the Orient slave girls weren't the slaves, they were the masters.
Yeah.
And until you realize that's the madness of male masculinity is no, we're not we don't own the women aren't slaves, you are. And once you get that into your mind, it's not gonna, there will be work you're gonna have to do, everything a slave has to do. There will be excessive responsibility to bring the fields in, and
yeah. I don't know, man. That's the thing. That's the thing that you always say you wish you knew this, wish you knew that, but and it's very true, because for me, it's like the money I made in my life, I should be comfortably retired, not even just retired. I mean, I could like uncomfortably retire, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, I could probably sell everything and just retire and kind of skate by. But then by the time I hit like maybe 65 or 70, I would be broke again. But I was thinking maybe it might be worth doing that because, by the time you get to that age, maybe you get a little Social Security, whatever. And
Right. Yeah. Don't buy into the work till you're 67 or 69 or 72 thing.
Right.
You should take that retirement as it is. And it's a lower amount, like they say it is, but it's not a bad amount. And you can
you're talking about, yeah, I agree with you. If you get Social Security, don't wait. Just take it right away.
Yeah, 62 is like
take it as early as you can get it. Yeah, because you can just take that money and make some investments and and most of the time, you can you can use that money to invest, whether it's in a business or stocks or, you know what I mean? It's you never wait. Oh, I'm going to get more money if I wait till I'm 70.
Yeah, that's stupid because you're just losing all the money you would have gotten. And, and that could assist with your retirement if you have a halfway decent, which I don't. I've lost my retirement several times here, and So
But that's the important thing is I think to retire early because you can enjoy your life. Like the idea is not to work your ass off. It's not. It's good to maybe it's okay when you're younger, like to put in a little extra hours or whatever, because you got the energy and your body's like really strong, But it's gonna change. Things are gonna change. They don't teach you that. Like, once you hit around 45 or even I'd say around 45 or 50, your body starts changing. You start getting those back problems, shoulder problems, whatever.
Yeah. Them things start showing up and they hurt. I mean, it's not like it's hard to explain to a young guy about them injuries coming back and everything, how they hurt and how they will restrict you from working. Now if you remember that you get married and you build a retirement fund and she gets half it, like my retirement. She got half my retirement.
Yeah. So, I mean, I told you about my friends that, I mean, it's interesting though. These are smart guys. Like these are guys that went to like the best, my cousin went to one of the best technology schools in the country, Caltech or what's it called? I don't know. Cal in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Caltech. Yeah. And then my other friend, he went to,
at Berkeley, isn't it? Caltech Berkeley. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's down south, Southern California. Berkeley's up north.
Berkeley's up north. Okay.
And so like, he's got to pay his ex-wife. Like they just got divorced. Like the kids are like 20 in their early 20s, and he still got to pay her for another 7 years. And like the stress on his face. Like these are guys that are really. My other friend was top of his class. He graduated with a 4.0. He was like a class, whatever. He was the top of his class in business school at Arizona State Arizona State or one of them, or University of Arizona, whatever. I don't know, one of them schools. And he was like, these are smart guys that are getting bait and switched on this bar because they bargained. They bargained with. I think a lot of it is they didn't trust themselves or they didn't.
Right, you thought you're bargaining with an adult. You're not bargaining with an adult here. You're under parentage laws, and it's like Dr. Dre right now is finding out that he has to give his ex-wife $300,000 a month for her living expenses because she's under parenting. You are the parent in that situation. She's a dependent. And that's what we use these language because we want these guys to understand that she is a dependent under the social norms and the laws. Yeah. You can't make a contract with a dependent.
No. It's a bad deal. It's just a bad deal. And the worst deal is it's funny. The worst deal is not even the woman. The worst deal is you got to partner with the state. Who you and me are street smart guys, right? I mean. And all the stuff that you've been through in the military and all that stuff, and for me too, just growing up on the streets with these gangsters, pretty much gangsters, like wise guys, and I grew up with these guys. I was around these guys when I was like 18, 19, even 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I was around the Italians and the wannabe gangsters and real gangsters too, some of them, and like they taught me, and we understand. We understand these things like and having street smarts but the point I was trying to make was how the biggest gangster, the biggest mobsters is the government. They're the biggest ones.
The biggest guy,
right. So you're going into partnership with the biggest mob boss in the world.
Yeah, they got those rackets figured out. That's rackets 100%. Over the last few videos, that's 100% racketeering because they're self-interested.
And they got it all covered. They got the politicians in their pocket. They got the judges in their pocket. Everything's covered. Everything's been covered for a long time.
Yeah, they won't even argue. They won't even let you. They won't even let men's rights been around for 40 years, making this argument to try to kill chivalry, but they won't even let you argue. You're right to redress that grievance is non-existent with them. They are the racket, and they are the racketeers. They are the mafia.
No doubt. They shake down. I mean, my friends.
They will shake you down.
Right. My friends got in trouble recently, and they're not violent. Well, one of them's a little bit. They can be if they need to be, and I guess there's some stories coming out, crazy stuff this guy did, but still, they were not. It was a non-violent thing that they did, and pretty much the government just shakes down. They try to find where all the illegal money is.
Yeah,
and they just try to shake down that money, and like people don't understand. A lot of times, like there's a market for narcotics because people want that because they're in pain or they're addicted or whatever. So there's a market, and
there's a market for that because they're holding back the actual market for it.
But the thing is, the government sees where it's just that they just shake down. They pretty much shake down dealers. They shake down where opportunities are. They shake down the black market. I'll put it that way. They just shake down.
Yeah. If you're a we've seen it a lot in the news lately,
and they're not doing it. Sorry, to make a quick point, Joseph. Sorry, so they don't do it out of altruistic reasons.
No, there is no altruistic.
No, they're not doing it because they care about humanity. Oh, look at all these crazy drug dealers and all these crazy gamblers, bookies, and all. No, they're doing it for their own self-interest, and because if they really care, they wouldn't push all these like crazy behaviors and addictions in the media and all this kind of stuff, right? That's where it would stop right there. We're trying to promote positive things, but they're not promoting positive things.
No, it's I've seen the whole thing from the inside, so I know how it works and everything, and there's no altruism involved in that. It's like you can imagine it from a pharmaceutical company's perspective. If I give the prescription contracts where they're rightfully given to the people that are in pain by the doctors, and the doctors actually do their job, then they make $5 a tablet. Yeah, but if it leaks out of there onto the street, they sell for $30 a tablet. Now, how do I restrict? They're saying, well, if we don't get our cut, we're just going to say that none of these opiates are going to get out there, and we're just going to make them illegal for everybody. And then the people in pain are like, oh, so they're holding you hostage to that. And well, if you let us be self-serving,
yeah.
And no, and the government gets their cut for being the big mafia gangsters they are. Then it works, but they have to get their cut. That's the same thing with taxes. When that lady came to my house and she said, "I'm just here to make sure your life isn't good."
Yeah.
She flat out said that to me. I wish I would have got it on tape. That you're not living well because you're not. I was breaking the cardinal rule at that point. I was poor.
And again, it's society, like if you're poor,
they will make sure that I am.
You're
poor.
A bad person. You're a bad person. Like you remember, they tie wealth to morality, or to
wealth is morality, and that's another thing we've never really talked about. I never really researched how wealth. I know how the honor codes and those loyalty is morality, but wealth is morality. But I often say it with the Christian idea of heaven is everybody's got more money than everybody else.
It's a sick system because you grow up with it as a kid, and it's like,
you get.
It's hard to break away from it because it's like you said, the group loyalty.
Right, the absurdity is accepted. Right. Like we will digress back to what we started with. The absurdity is accepted because it's an acceptable exchange.
Yeah. That's why you got to have those days, weeks, months, even a year for me, where you don't even. Sometimes you just have to go.
Right, even in here, I do some absurdity in my life just to make myself. I get the dopamine that I need. And I do some absurdity, like the hole in my back. I know it's absurd, but it gives me the idea that there's hope. And I do that with Camus as God, and I put myself on the God chair. It's like but lately I've been looking at the Buchananism, like I say, so I can keep some absurdity in my, just to keep sanity in this world, and keep the stress levels down. Now that's the same trade-off, and they rely on these trade-offs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll get smashed in this world.
Yeah. That's the thing. When you're young, you got the energy and just try to save up. I remember my uncle left me a message on my cell phone when I was 25, maybe 26. I got a nice job. At the time I thought it was a nice job, but then I looking back, I'm realizing, I worked my ass off for this company. I mean, yeah, the pay was good, whatever. But I remember him telling me, save your money.
Yeah.
Save your money. He was right. Yeah, and he was right, but and I got lucky not to get married and have children, but because that was the direction I was going. But he was probably making the assumption, save your money for them, for a future family, right? It wasn't like save your money for yourself in your own retirement.
Yeah, it was never for you. It was never altruistically.
Right.
That's when the altruism is removed from that. I was just listening to Peter Sandman. Do you ever listen to Peter Sandman?
No, who is he?
The risk assessment guy on Dr. Peter Sandman. You should really listen to him. And a lot of guys, I always suggest listen to Dr. Peter Sandman. He has a website, Dr. Peter Sandman or Peter Sandman. It's risk. He does risk management, and he also did outrage management, how governments and how things, and he was talking about that idea. Sometimes there's trade-offs and truths. Mm-hmm. And if something's 70% truth, you got to put these things on a bar. He thinks like me too. He puts everything on a bar of a negation. And there's trade-offs in truth, and who do you trust when there's trade-offs in truth? If you got a guy telling you 30% of the truth, and you can equate this to the COVID thing and everything now, and the government's telling you 70% of the truth, often people will flow and they'll see the 30% of truth that they're not telling you, and they'll say the whole thing is absurd, but you just got to trust who's telling you the 70%. So there's big trade-offs in these things. Mm-hmm. It's like sometimes you just have to make that absurd decision to do something that, I'm just going to, it's like gambling then. It's like in our lives that, there's a little more dopamine. Okay, I'll take that, make that decision, go get the vaccine shot, go believe in the mask and everything, because there's a 70% chance I'll end up victorious.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do in your life. But the absurdity is, that idea. I'm not generally saying, it's over talked about, the COVID thing, but there's ideas in there where it relates to you as a MGTOW too. Sometimes, and I think that's why a lot of the guys, our old group, went over to the Western esotericalism, because it was a trade-off for them. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just got to make those, and to keep your sanity. But being rigidly truthful is hard. Mm-hmm. And once you know the truth,
Well, I got this friend who's like a born again Christian, but I was so I known him for I think 20 years. Yeah, about 20 years. And so I was a Christian back then too. So we were all into it. But he hasn't changed. He still believes in it. So he'll every now and then he'll talk to me and
now believe
like, the Lord. He goes, the Lord's by my side and things are gonna be fine. And I just don't say anything. I didn't, in the past I would have said, oh yeah. I really talk about a Bible quote or something. And now our relationship's totally different, but that probably helps him just get through life. And
it just helps him get through life. The dopamine levels are there when he believes this and everything. And that's why I was looking at Buchananism, because the first words in Buchananism, and basically Mormonism too, the last words in Mormonism is the same as the first words in Buchananism. If you believe any of this bullshit, you're a fucking idiot. It's it's just simply to make your day go by better and and give you some ideas about how to choose friends and how and what would and the advantages of being spontaneous.
Yeah. That's I was looking at the book Consumerism too about
right. Calvinists should be locked up because
it's and then pretty much the origins of it are just a bunch of rich people getting together and saying, how can we maintain our wealth?
How can we
they want to maintain their wealth and grow their wealth. Yeah. So and one of the it goes back to the addiction thing. I was talking about SFM, we just had a 5-10 minute conversation, but it was really good because we agreed the addictions lead to the codependency, and now you're stuck. You're stuck. They want you to be stuck, always in debt to them, right?
Right. Yeah. Like if you had an option, how can I do it without doing a TV reference? If you had the option, if you were the society maker and you had the option to use the pheromones that you could from the women as a tool, and then build a religion around that and build marriage into that, and then you get all these nice slaves, wouldn't you do that? I mean, there's nothing altruistic in that. That he's selling altruism as the bargain in there, but there is no altruism in that. It's just control and
right. There's no altruism. It's like what good does it do to bust my friends and send them to jail? They're facing 10 to life. You know, these guys like for what? For pushing a little bit of product that was like, it's not even really violent. It's just there's a market there. My buddy sees the market. Listen, I wouldn't advise anyone do that because it's not worth going to jail for anything.
I wanted to say the JK that I understand the ending of Star Trek Enterprise now. I understand. I get it. The Orient slave girls were the masters.
Yeah. No, but it's like oh yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. And they started pushing the next episode was about how the alternate mirrored universe, and then Yoshi becomes the Star Trek she becomes the head because she was so cunning. Yeah. And she used sex as it, and then they took them off the air because obviously you can't say them sort of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is just getting away from these like I don't know. I say negative. It's beyond just being it's beyond just negative people, because sometimes like people mistake negativity with like trying to be realistic and make good decisions. Like we're not being negative. Like people think we're being negative when we talk about marriage. Like marriage.
Right, that's healthy skepticism.
Right, right. We're not. That's different. Like, what term was I looking for? I guess I don't know. Like just being around people that are just want to tie you into their like a, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I want to say it, but like the codependency, like definitely getting away from that codependency as much as possible, and then entanglements too. Like I'll never go to jail in my life. I already know that. There's just absolutely no way I'll ever go to jail because I'm not getting involved with any I'm not gonna put myself in that position.
Right, I might. I might decide like.
It's just never gonna happen. I'll actually put my life on. Like, there's absolutely no way. There's zero chance. Zero chance because I don't have that. I'm not gonna go there.
My physical health keeps deteriorating, and I can't make any money anymore. And
okay, I see what you're saying.
And I'm stuck with the social contracts from the past, and I can't get my retirement.
Yeah.
They take my house and everything. If these things.
Well, I already told you the trick for that, though.
I'm just going to walk into a bank one day with a BB gun and give me the money.
You don't need a BB gun. Just take the money.
The police won't be there yet because they always show up 15 minutes late. I'll just set the BB gun down on the floor and just sit there and wait for them to come, like the Japanese guy did. It's like, because obviously 3 hots and a cot is better than being tortured for the rest of my life.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But I already told you, like, well, since you have a college degree, you can always take out the loans, and then just go. You just put your, like, that's a good strategy if you need money.
Yeah, that's what I've been
just keep
looking
going
at.
to school. Yeah, you can because what you do is you just keep renewing your
Right. If I
loans.
just go for my
Yeah, and
doctorate.
yeah, exactly. You go for your doctorate, and then you go for another doctorate, and you just keep going to school until you're dead.
Yeah, right about now would be
So
kind of perfect too, because I could spend about 8 years in college.
Yeah, because that's how you beat them at their own system.
Yeah.
So you beat them at their own system. You have no intention of ever paying the debt back.
Right.
And then you just keep going to school until you're, and then you keep taking the loans out. And then you don't have to pay the loans because you're in school. There's a way to do it. You got to do your own research. I'm not going to,
Right. Think of all the classes that I've got that no longer exist that I have to retake now.
Yeah.
And that's why, because every 4 years you're going to lose 2 classes.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So at my age, like, how many classes? There's probably 30 classes that I need to retake now.
Yeah, exactly. You just keep
because they're obsolete.
So when you're in graduate school, you have to be at least part-time. Like part-time, usually 2 classes or 6 credits per semester.
Yeah, and then 6 credits. That's all you have to do now.
Well, to be considered part-time, you just need 6 credits as
6 credits. Yeah, part-time.
Semester. So fall semester, you would take 2 classes. It'd be 3 credits each usually. And then that's a minimum way. So if you're at least half-time, if you're at least a half-time student, you can get the full loans. So that's the way to do it. And then what you do is you stretch out the program. You can grab probably 10 to 20,000 in loans. But I mean, obviously you have to pay them back. But who gives a shit? If you have no intention of paying them back, then just keep going to school online.
Right.
And then you get your. Yeah. So in other words, that's a weird example because people get afraid of the debt. But that's the way you do it. Instead of going to jail, that's a better alternative. Is just keep borrowing money that you're never going to pay it back anyway. Who cares? You keep going to school. When you're in school, you don't have to. They can't make you pay back a loan while you're in school. These are little loophole things that you can kind of play around with, because that's what rich people do, don't they? They just find loopholes and then they pretty much don't even pay their tax. Like, remember Leona Helmsley? Poor people, the rich people don't pay taxes. Remember her, the hotel lady?
Oh,
Leona Helmsley?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, taxes are for poor people or something, like some stupid shit she said. And I don't know why they went after her. As they said, they made her an example.
They made her an example.
They pissed her off. So she pissed somebody off at the IRS.
Yeah, she made some comments, that were offhanded, and
they used her as an example. That's all they did. But meanwhile, all 99% of her friends they're not. These rich people don't pay taxes the way we do. There's no way. There's no way they pay it as much as the middle class. Absolutely no way. But yeah, so that's the thing. You always have to you can play around with things is what I'm trying to get at. Well, like you're kind of similar, your situation with the guy with the bank. But I would just write a note and you could probably,
you could probably write a note. I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, you don't want to get shot because, these cops are cross-eyed, cross-eyed cops.
Never heal now. I got shot, a couple times. But it's like, it's like it would never heal now. And
the cross-eyed cops might...
some cross-eyed Barney Fife with 1 bullet in his gun, it'd be like gets a lucky shot off.
Yeah. But no, it's just bad. I think the whole thing, like I told you, I just took on this new sales job and it's really good, man. And it's like I have to be careful telling people how good it is. I haven't even actually gone out in the field yet, but I know it's going to be good because I've been doing sales 20 years. I know a good situation when I see it. So it's just one of those jobs. It's going to get better every day. Good. And there'll be a point.
You can make it better now too with your skills.
Yeah. Because I just have too many successful experiences in sales. So I just have to, anyway, once I get it rolling, it's going to be great, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I had a lot of friends I talked to that they've never had those type of good jobs like that. Like they've had good jobs, but they're like, they get treated like garbage and they're not really. So so I was talking to these guys and I could tell I could feel the jealousy talking to them. You know what I mean? You follow me? So I've made my decision. I'm done. I'm not going to communicate with these guys probably for a good year.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get away from all.
I was thinking a good option for me would be.
Yeah. What's that?
Because I can sell drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get a contract with the government to sell drugs.
I don't know what my friends. These guys are in their 40s, but I got away from these guys about 7-8 years ago because I saw the direction they were headed. They were acting really crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys are just, you know what it is? That's what I wrote. I think I made a point about immaturity. Was I talking to you or Jeff or I don't know?
Yeah, you did make a point about immaturity.
Oh, yeah. So staying away from, I want to comment about immaturity, staying away from it. So I've noticed in my life, immature people, when you're around them, forget it. You're screwed, man. You have to get away from them. You just have to because, and my friend's 65 years old and he's dating this psycho woman in her 50s. And she's so immature, but that makes him kind of immature, right? That why are you with?
They'll drag you down to their level.
They'll drag you down. Exactly right. That's a very good point. And it's funny. It's like it's two ends of the spectrum. I got the born again Christian friend.
Yeah,
but he's just as immature because he's believing this fairy tale of this Jesus figure that he prays to at night. Like who's like what's? They're both immature.
Right. Yeah. No. You got to put that on the bar then, and measure it up against being mature and being like a MGTOW and being, self-interested in what's, while being altruistic, you can be self-interested and kind of blend those two. And where do you end up on that bar and everything? And you got a good example on where you don't want to end up on. But them things too. It's like, man, one of your friends are really, wealthy and everything. I'd like to be really wealthy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sell out to the point where I'm miserable.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. The corporate world, they'll promise you all these trinkets but the corporate world to me is like that. Like you said, that big house by the beach.
Yeah,
looks really nice from the outside. But once you get in, you got a guy in there and he's like working from 8 a.m. to 8 at night every day and 6-7 days a week. And he's drinking wine. He's got to drink wine to get to sleep because he's so stressed out.
Yeah, you're not on the registry, Joe. You're Italian.
No,
Rich, I'm not on the registry.
I'm not on the registry. No, I'm not.
I'm not on the registry. How do I get on that registry?
No, I'm not. No, I'll never get on there. No, and I don't want to be on there. Why would you want to be around those douchebags? So I think my strategy. I kind of I hate to admit this that I share like I kind of play dumb I play dumb in society. I play dumb when I interact with people. I just kind of play dumb a lot of times. Like, you know what I mean? Like I act like I don't know anything about what's MGTOW. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Like I play dumb. I don't tip away my knowledge what's going on because you can't sometimes, because they'll think you're crazy. I'll share with some, not that I'm super freaking intelligent guy, but
yeah, you can play dumb and then do the bait and switch on them and go, but these guys make kind of sense, don't they?
Yeah,
I know a little bit about I know a little bit about MGTOW. I know that they do risk assessment.
Yeah. It's like these wannabe. It's like these mob guys. Like it's like I was around guys that are 10 times crazier than these guys. And so I don't they don't. I just walk around. I act like I don't even. Oh God, yeah. Wow, you're this guy and this. Who cares? I don't give a shit. You're still a freaking You're still a freaking clown.
Haven't you noticed like all these guys that come around are detractors, like Dr. Grande and the workout guy, the health guy. All those guys. I can't remember all their names now, but
Coach
they always do the bait and switch on us. They do a little bit of MGTOW. Like MGTOW, you're right. But they do the and technically, and I did a video on technically. They do MGTOWs, you guys got this is right, but technically, no, there's no such thing as a technical truth. Well, there is a technical truth, but technically they use it in a reverse way where they do the bait and switch on you.
Yeah.
So those guys come with the bait and switch, and that's what SFM would call B-brain. or stripper brain.
Yeah, the bitch brain. Well, that's the thing. Again, like whenever you're talking to like a simp or even a married, I hate to extend it to that way, but even a married guy, like you really can't take anything they say seriously because
Right.
because their worldview is so warped,
Yeah, they're mimicking the expressions of their spouse, and they're mimicking those ideas that they hold true to, but in their world worldview is just warped if you're thinking like that.
Yeah. So
You gotta.
Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah,
I'm in I know. See, there you go. There's a city life.
Yeah,
and but anyway,
has there been a mass shooting?
but that's like the 10th one in 2 days. It's like just ambulances everywhere. I guess people are dying. Whatever, heart attacks or stress.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, that's what I've learned over the years is that they're not going to give you good advice. They're just not going to give you good advice. It's almost like they want to lure you into their misery. They want to lure you into their sorrow. They want you to be
misery loves company.
Yeah, they don't want you to
enjoy your life. The group, you can learn how to suffer like they do.
Yeah, and then that's another thing too. A point that came into my mind yesterday was they want you to be. They don't want you to enjoy your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're doing too good, that means that they're not doing good enough. And if you're enjoying your life by other means, that means that you've offended their worldview because you're enjoying your life as a MGTOW by some other thing that they don't understand. And it's like that could never be possible. They would have to they conservatively balk right away and go back to what they believe. But no, you could never do that because there's group loyalty in that too. Like I said, you must be wrong for being happy.
Yeah, that's right. You must be wrong for being happy and enjoying your life. And like I did a ton of traveling the last few months, and I spent a little bit of money and more money than I really want to, but that's all right. I'll get it back. I'll get the money.
No, back. Never flaunt your wealth of happiness.
Right.
They will see that as a violation of their suffering laws.
Right. They want you to be miserable, and because they're miserable. They don't know how to break away from the group. See, we know how to break away. MGTOW know how to break away. I know how to break away. It's really quite simple too. Like for me, it's like no, you're being addicted. I just won't return your call. I won't return your call. I won't. I'm not obligated to call you back. I don't have the codependency. I don't have to call you back. I don't have to. And I don't know if you ever got this one, like where you have a friend you really don't want to talk to anymore, or someone who used to be a friend, and then you finally touch base with them for whatever reason. They're like, "I was so worried about you." Did you ever get that?
Yeah.
I was so worried about you. Where have you been?
Well, yeah, that's a good idea too, because people will come presenting themselves with altruistic intentions, but those intentions are malformed. You have to be very leery about those people. The government will do that too. They're going to come to you and they do it to the old people all the time. The 68 plusers, when they see that they have money in the bank, they come to them with altruistic intentions of care, and then they take all their money.
That's right. They're always trying to get your wealth. They're trying to get your labor. See, it's beyond wealth and beyond money. See, don't just look at it as wealth and money. Look at it as labor. They're stealing your time.
Labor too. Labor is important too. As a young man, they want your labor.
Right. They want your labor. They want your time. And time is infinite. It's so much more valuable than money.
Right. Yeah.
It really is.
As an old person, they see that you figured out the system, so you somehow cheated them from.
Right.
You must have cheated them because you're not a loser.
Right. Because like I had this job last year, and they promoted this little son of a bitch, and I'm like, this guy's a little son of a bitch, a little weasel twerp. I'm not working for this little twerp, So I left the job. So I'm not doing this, and I took pretty much took this last year off, and I went into nature a lot, and I enjoy. Now, obviously, you got to plan your. Listen, I don't recommend this to everybody because you have to be, you have to have resources, have money saved, whatever. And I don't have really bad habits, really, so I don't have to spend. I don't spend a lot of money. So here's the thing, though, so I enjoyed my time the last 12 months.
Yeah, that's what I've enjoyed my time for the last so many years, and now I have to plan my felony one.
Yeah, well, I would do it the other way. I would just take the loans out and just get into a PhD program. I would just get into a PhD program and then play around with it, and don't
might have to consider that.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, it's not a bad idea because you can even back into like a decent job as a community college or even college professor. You never know, right? You do it online, so it's like, and that might be something fun to do anyway. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Time is more valuable. But boy, you just brought up a really good point though about how you're right. When you get to a certain age, that's why these corporations love hiring people in their 20s and 30s because they know they're not at that point where they're smart enough to understand what's going on.
You can get the slavery from them then without thinking about their
you can get more utility out of those people in 20s and 30s, like because they don't understand the time and labor and how they're being screwed. Because once you hit your 40s, 50s, 60s, like you understand that they're if you're getting screwed on a bonus, well, the 40-hour week job becomes a 20-hour week job. You're not going to put the effort in the way you did.
Yeah. So they got the racket. The racketeers got to figure it out, and the government. And they got that whole system figured out, and you're the loser in it. You're always going to be the loser.
Right. That's why you don't bargain.
Now, what is the possibility of me getting away with a good felony one?
Well, I always thought bookmaking was always a good one.
But bookmaking would
be. But you have to take on some risk because there's going to be weeks.
There's going to be risk involved. I got to figure out like a high, get my percentage over 70%. So it's a win-win.
Bookmaking's good because if you get caught, you don't really do a lot of time. But the thing is, you have to. I don't know if that's a good one either, anymore. But I'm trying to think of what are some other good ones? I don't know. Knockoff. Well, I think selling knockoffs.
Knockoffs would be good. I could do that.
Yeah. You can sell like knockoff. Like
I could just put wheat grain in a jar and sell it as a testosterone enhancer. Now I can market it at the simping.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do a crime, don't do violent crimes, of course, because
Right. Yeah, I'd have to. My conscience would exclude me from.
Don't do drugs dealing because that's just the laws.
Yeah, my conscience excludes me from drugs unless I can figure out like how to sell fake Percocets.
I know what's a good one is running a poker game. If you can find the right, you got to just recruit the players.
Yeah, if I can get a mold or a die and make up like fake ones and sell those, and all I'm doing is like the addict will just like he doesn't get his high. That's the worst thing that happens.
Well, I knew a guy who was he passed away like a few years ago. He was a really good guy, and he ran the poker games and up in Springfield there, and
but that would involve traveling too. If I can make a die to make a fake Percocets, I'd have to move from one town because they want to kill me in that town. So I'd have to move from one town. But there's a lot of towns in America.
This guy, he was smart though. He ran like 2 or 3 poker games, and then he would give out credit once in a while. Like so, let's say you don't have the money playing the game, he would put you up for the game, and if you lost, then he'd charge you interest. So if let's say you borrow like $500, right? Well, that $500 you borrow now becomes just pay me $50 a month or $50 a week, and then but that was just the loan shark, right? So if it's $500, you pay $50 and you're paying $50 every week until you pay it down.
Yeah.
So he's making money on that,
and
then he's raking $50 to $100 an hour on the game.
Right. Plus, you're going to come back when you do have like money, anyways.
Yeah, you're gonna. So
every time you pay your $50, you might have like an extra 100 to revamp.
He had a lot of friends. He was like one of these guys that he was like too smart to like he got recruited right to be in the crew, and he was like, I don't need you fucking clowns. Like I run my own. Like he ran his own stuff. Like he didn't need those guys. He could have been in that crew, and he didn't need. They needed him more than they. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, because he had everything locked in, and everybody liked him, and I liked him too, and he was a great guy, and I know when he passed away, he had some land and stuff, and he was just a good dude. He was a good dude, and so that's another.
You need to have a network then too. His network was probably important.
He had a good network because he had guys. So his last name, like that was like kind of a strong name in that area. Like you don't play around with this last name, so that helped him too. But he was just a good guy. He was a good guy. He used to always call me lucky, but I'm lucky. Well, because I'm winning. It's not luck. If you start winning in a poker game for several years, it's really not luck anymore. But he goes, "Are you still lucky?" Because I ran into him before he passed away a few years. It's like, "Are you still lucky?"
Are you still lucky Joey?
and he kind of laughed. But this guy was smart though. He was a bartender. He did bartending work too, and he's just a guy like stuff like that. He would bartend. He would he had his own poker games. He'd do a little loan shark game. He stayed under the radar. He never, when his best move was, he never gave a guy like too much money. Like the most he got into a guy was maybe $2,000 or $4,000, right? That's the most he ever lent out. You don't get in a situation where you're lending a guy 10, 20, 30, 40.
Right. No, that's how you get absurd amounts in Hollywood. Right. The Hollywood pictures, they were like, he owes him. I was like, who would lend some guys, a known addict, $50,000?
I knew a guy who lent out these bookies like $50,000. This is in the 90s.
Yeah.
And the one he says two bookies, they were pretty big sized bookies, and he's like, oh no, the other guy. Because the other bookie owes you the 50, not me. He's the one that borrowed it. Like that's how these guys work.
Oh, yeah.
And he got stuck for 50. He lost $50,000. It's a true story. And then, but my other friend in Springfield, he would only lend out like maybe, like I said, $2,000 to $4,000. He would keep it the figure, and that and some people think that's a high figure. But in the gambling world, it's really not high.
No. Yeah.
But he would keep the figures low, like purposely low, usually less than $2,000 in most cases. So he knew he would get some money, like a couple bucks. He would make it was a profitable thing the way he set it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a short comfort break.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep up.
Yes, Steak and Shake. Yes, we're going to the Steak and Shake in what's that city in Ohio? Where the heck was I? There's actually a Springfield, Ohio, too. There's a Springfield. Oh boy, all those towns in Ohio. If any of you travel across country, in the Midwest is where you find out a lot of the Steak and Shakes. So that's a real thing. But I never went to it. I don't know. I think I got scared because I thought Hoka might be running the Steak and Shake. So that's why I decided not to walk into it. But I wouldn't recommend I'd say I wouldn't recommend driving cross country either. It's very tiring unless you're a patient. Only drive cross country if you're patient. Obviously, you need some money. You need a little bit of money, obviously, for the gas and hotels. They get a little expensive, and then you have to be, just a good driver too. Because there are going to be situations you're going to run into a traffic jam or, just situations come up. Like when I went, I had 3 tires pop on me. So that's, and I got pulled into the gas station. I got lucky. I have triple. That's another thing too. If you drive cross country, make sure you have AAA. Make sure you have a premium. I have premium AAA.
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, you talking about AAA?
Yeah.
Because I have the Premier, which is not that bad. It's like $100 a year.
Yeah, that's not. It's a good investment. It's just
totally worth it. Yeah, it's the only time you don't get AAAs if you don't really drive a lot.
Yeah,
really. But it is a good investment. Absolutely. I had 3 tires pop. Well, I had 1 tire pop, but the other 2 were just ready to go. So they came in and put the spare on for me because I got this old Jaguar and the what do you call it? The lug nuts are hard to get out.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm getting older now. I'm not gonna break my wrist for this. Look at this. I know how to change a tire. I'm not a freaking idiot, but it's a lot easier to change it when you have a Ford or Chevy.
Yeah. Versus
an old Jaguar. But the Jaguar is good because it reminds me of London. But yeah, there's a lot of ways.
It reminds you of being in London.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I tell you, what's another good one, Joe, is like a food truck. Get like a little food truck. I think that's always a good, because It doesn't cost a lot to make a freaking. First of all, it's not hard to make a sandwich, right? It's not hard to even make tacos or burritos or quesadillas. Those are easy to make.
You can
Like
keep
taco trucks.
20 salads cold, and
well, I saw a guy the other day. He had this big ice cream truck in LA. There's a lot of them, and those are good too. You get a nice ice cream. What the fuck? You just hand the ice. What do? You just hand the ice cream. A freezer. You got a freezer in there, and then you obviously can screw the government on taxes. You don't have to pay them all. Keep a little cash for yourself.
Right. Anything you receive in cash, you keep. Anything that goes on the credit, but you got to get the Apple scanner for your for your. And then I always make sure you run it through your credit card so you get the 5% back.
Mm. But it's funny, we talk about jealousy a lot, and like people are jealous, man. Because these guys. I knew of two guys that one guy I was telling you about, and then this other guy. He worked in the sanitation department. He was a manager for a sanitation department, and he used to run poker games up in where I was from. And everybody was so jealous of him, man, because he was he was smart too. You know what he did too? Now I don't agree with this, but he would lend out money. He would loan shark to people that were underneath him. Like he was a manager.
Yeah. He
was the boss, right? And these guys that work underneath him, he would loan shark to them. So his own employees. So so you got to pay back your boss, right?
Yeah. What is the house cut now?
What is what? The house cut? It just depends. Everyone does different things.
If you're running a game.
Back then we were back. Oh, the cut for the rake?
Yeah, if you're financing.
Yeah, I mean, they would make, like I said, like probably $50 to $100 an hour. And sometimes those games would go 20 hours. So they're making, $1,500, $2,000 cash. Like, and that's not even, the dealers get tips. Dealers work on tips. They don't even get paid per hour. So some of these dealers would make, they were making good money too.
Yeah, you got to find a good dealer.
Yeah. And
ain't nothing worse than going to a game and you have a bad dealer.
But poker's it's harder to beat now because there's too much information out there now. Like
there is. Yeah.
You can just watch a few videos and people started learning. Hey, the higher cards are worth more than the lower cards.
Yeah,
and there's certain things about the game that so it's not as profitable as it used to be. But it's I don't know. I like the idea of just doing the student loan thing because they have to see, they don't care if people don't pay it back because the reason they already have their huge chunk of suckers that are, I'm not saying they already have enough. It's profitable even if people use that system I talked about. It's still profitable for them. They're still making hand over fist money. What do you call it? Fist over. What do you call it? What's that called? They're still making a ton of money.
Yeah, you're still making a ton of money.
The student loan business is huge.
Well, it's a no-lose situation because the government's backing it.
Right, exactly. The government's backing it. And the interest rates are even getting higher now. Because I had a 4% interest rate when I went to college 20 years ago. And now these new loans I got are 6%, for my business school. It's 6%. So 6%. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually is a lot. It
is a lot. Yeah, it has a tendency to build.
And back in the day, I guess you could file bankruptcy, and they changed that law, I think, in the 90s. But before, in the 70s, before.
Yeah, you can't file bankruptcy against.
You can't include your student loans in bankruptcy anymore. Yeah. You used to be able to. Yeah, but anyway, going back to our topic, your invitation to bargain. Yeah, so that's the thing is. I think getting away from those people that want you to bargain, you feel me?
Yeah, you have to consider whether it's a bargain or not. You got to, some of these things that get thrown by the female gets thrown out for you. It's there's other contractual deals that are involved in this in the future, and I'm not willing to make that exchange. And getting involved with it too, you're assumed. You're assumed that nowadays with living together or cohabitating, you're assumed you're married.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and things like that have a big influence on those kind of bargains. And it all starts with her invitation.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like my friend I was telling you about in Daytona Beach.
She knows the game. She knows what she can get from it too. Baby mamas aren't stupid nowadays.
Yeah, they're just vile beings, though, aren't they? They're so vile. It's like
cunning. Yeah, they know if they can get you involved with it in a relationship where you're just, you start cohabitating. All she got to do is miss one of her pills, and and convince you to bareback it. And I mean, that's the next 18 to 28 years of your life.
Yeah.
She got you as a slave.
They you never hear people that get married or have children. They'll never say, "Oh, I regret having children," or "I regret getting married." But they do. They do. Yeah, because that's kind of a crazy like society says it's a crazy thing to say. I regret having these children, and because they're human beings, and whatever, they have feelings too. And I get it, but they do regret it. they don't. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but. Or they at least they regret being in that stressful entanglement, maybe not the children, the person itself, unless they turn out into a real jerk, which is possible too, right? You have these children that can turn into jerks for whatever reason,
right? Baby mama's bad influence on the whole situation.
Right.
Self-serving and cunning it rubs off on the children, and then the children get bee-brained.
That's what happened to my friend who 17 years and paid child support, never missed a payment. And
I always thought it was really interesting with elderly boy children, around 15, 16, when they start, the mothers will feed them false information that promotes the idea of the baby mamas. So they're siding with the association to the club rather than their children.
It's crazy.
And that's when it gets rather bizarre and complex. So you see that mothers do not love their children any more than they love a male, and there's no such thing as love. It's a chemical process, but they will side with the institution over the children and the baby mom institution. So they're going to feed their boys bad information, so they become part of the entrapped.
Mm-hmm. But the quicker you can get away from these people, the better off you are. And I have to go go on about 5-6 people now. They're just bringing too much. I started a new job. They're bringing too much stress on me. I got to get away from it.
In that is where I think true evil is, and it becomes not anymore incidental. It's not coincidental. It's really planned true evil. That's where I think the whole thing. That's where the tire hits the road on evil, when the mothers do that. They're trading in human labor then, child labor.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm learning. I have more empathy towards a lot of people because they raised
You have to have empathy towards the younger simps that come around, and why you try to find their backstory right away,
right?
And maybe they did have a horrible mother that it became obvious.
Right. They weren't around the guys like my father. He would he wouldn't even take any shit from my mother. That was a great. If anything that my father gave me, all the positive things, the one thing he did that was best, he didn't take any shit from my mother.
Yeah, he would be seen as
awesome
abusive today, and then
my father would have been in jail 10 times right now. Probably.
Yeah, he would be seen as abusive, and that would.
Right.
The women take that as that's the stories they tell. Your father was an abuse. That's the Hollywood story. All dads are abusive drunks.
Right.
That's why they went away. It wasn't because I was crafty and cunning and I made him into a slave. That could never be the excuse. The excuse is, he was abusive and drunk, and that's the Hollywood. All dads, every dad ever in Hollywood there was no good dads. Can you think of any good dads in Hollywood?
Sarah Jessica Parker's father in Square Pegs. I don't know.
Yeah, just Square Pegs. Yeah,
no.
Yeah, look how they attacked Bill Cosby because he was a good dad.
Right.
He portrayed a good dad, so they had to Me Too him.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's totally ridiculous what happened with that. Like, those are obviously he didn't spike anyone's. I think those women wanted to do those. I would think that's what happened. They would
now when you look at
high with them or low with them or whatever. They could simulate.
Yeah, when you look at our guy Kirk Cameron, he bought into the institution, so he's now exempt. So that's a good example of the authorization. How you buy into everything we say, and then you'll be in the club.
Well, that's a really good point, because with the Christianity thing, because they're always claiming that they're the ones that are being persecuted.
Right.
Meanwhile, they're running the show. They're the ones that they're the ones that are in control of everything.
Yeah, you could put them too on the bar of the bar of ostracization, or whatever bar that is. It works out to be is Bill Cosby on one end, Kirk Cameron on the other end, and like see who bought into, who didn't buy into it, and who and how they needed to extinguish that idea of a good father.
Yeah. I'm sick of Hollywood, man, because I work there sometimes, and God, the people there are just so.
Oh God, I couldn't even imagine.
They're so freaking weird, man. And like, I have some accounts in Beverly Hills. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go. And I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I don't want to see those fucking idiots over there. It's like, geez.
I would so avoid that if I ever went to.
Yeah, I think I am, unless it's like a big account. I gotta kiss a little ass.
Yeah, if you had to go there for business, the money's worth more there.
Yeah, they're just like living in this delusional fantasy, and they just, like I always talk about the addiction. Like I think that's a really good thing to explore, is this the pushing of addictions.
Right. No,
in the world. Yeah, especially drinking. Drinking is the obvious one. That's the one I see the most. And then the drugs is obviously there. The gambling is definitely that's another one.
Gambling, the entertainment, complex.
Consumerism. It really comes down to consumer. They want you to be a consumer, so you're dependent. And then
you also there's this social picture of people standing around having martinis, like, and nothing comes of that and everything. So that's the marketing side of it. The government makes almost 90% taxes on the beverages they sell. So that's where self-serving comes in. So they push this idea through the media and everything that, responsible drinking. But as soon as you have a couple of drinks, think of the idea of, I always give the idea of, why are there parking lots in bars?
Yeah.
If drinking and driving is illegal, why are there parking lots in bars? Why did you zone it that way? Yeah. So that's the trap. It's they get you coming, they get you going, and then they get you into these self-serving social programs for alcoholism, and so it's there's a business built on this thing.
Yeah, it's insane, and
it's all a lose-lose situation. So leaving your house, you can have a few drinks once in a while, have a beer and everything, but never ever leave your house.
I saw the sign yesterday, this Italian restaurant I was eating. I said, warning. It gives you a warning about alcohol.
Yeah, there's a warning on the side of the bottle.
Yeah, increased cancer risk and birth defects, and it's like, wow, if they really cared about the government really cared about people, and don't you think they would just ban it?
All tyrants come in the form of altruism.
Yeah. It's just
what's good for the people. The Camus said that. Yeah.
But so the less you consume, the better off you're going to be. But
less consumption, and having a beer and a burger at lunch is okay. Just make sure it doesn't exceed 12 ounces.
12 what? $25 hamburger and South.
Yeah, having a burger, $11 beer,
douchebaggy people,
$25 hamburger.
Yeah, all these like yuppie douchebags. It's like, oh man, I couldn't wait to get out of that place. Holy mackerel!
Yeah, I was thinking of the Indians yesterday, or the Guardians, the new Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians. It's like how they marketing program, how they restrict the access to watch the games and everything. Yeah. But and that promotes the idea that there's a lull in attendance, and there you can go get a $25 burger there and an $11 beer, and they're making like 600% profit on that, but they're restricting their marketing by not having free TV. It's like, you idiots! I would want that stadium full every day high ticket prices and people buying $25 hamburgers and $11 beers every day. That's the option I'd go for.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, they don't use logic, and that's when logic turned to anti-logic, and Art Modell did that, and it's like, and Dolans are still buying into that.
Mm-hmm.
The new Guardians, that I'm coming to get used to it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A matter of fact, that's the two Guardians there.
Well, there. I thought that was what's that movie? The Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I don't know which it is. That was a drawing. The guy actually, he came and he said, "It's okay, keep using them," because I was worried whether he was going to whether he was going to what's that word? Copyright me.
Oh, which one? The one at the lake or the other one?
No, this one in the background.
Oh, wow. What's that one from?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a classic painting that I had seen, and I just kind of used it. And then the guy that had done it did the graphics or the painting and everything came, and he says, "Oh, no, I don't. It doesn't bother me. Keep using it." I can't remember his name, and but he's cool about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think they're so symbolic of the dualism and the Guardians and the whole thing. It's like it's symbolic of kicking guards or dualism. What do you call that? I can't remember. But
Clarism? I don't know.
No, there's a dualism in the human brain, and Cartesian dualism.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they represent, and along with the Guardian, like you have to get permission to come through those gates, and I'm stuck on the other side.
I know. Well, that's the thing. If you get to the other side, what it really you see, there's just a bunch of miserable son of a bitches anyway. So who cares? Remember that Great Gatsby line?
Yeah,
they're a rotten crowd or something.
Yeah,
I don't know who Nick Carraway represents in that, but he's kind of like this free-spirited guy, right? He ends up going west after Gatsby gets killed.
Yeah,
like that. F. Scott Fitzgerald, he was kind of, I think he was part of that. He was, I mean, that was like a. Yeah, so it's like this ruling class kind of thing, and Gatsby wasn't part of their group. That's why he got killed.
Yeah, there's a big story behind. I can't remember which program it was on, but F. Scott Fitzgerald and everything.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Yeah, but then Gatsby gets killed. That he's new money because he was a
Oh no, he can't have new money.
yeah. Oh, he's doing it through illegal. He's doing it through illegal ways. That's why it makes me laugh, like how people always want to like bad talk the mob and all this kind of stuff. And meanwhile, they kind of kill each other off. They don't really.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Meanwhile, the government sending. How many people, hundreds of thousands or millions of men have died in war because of the government?
Yeah.
Like there's no, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same as religion. It's like how many people have died for religion, and they'll keep taking those deaths, and that's supposed to be an altruistic thing.
And they make a big deal out of a local mob boss, like whacking out a guy that doesn't pay his.
That was JFK. Ask not what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country.
Yeah, exactly. He's another. I don't know. I know he's an Irish guy, whatever. To me, he was just another garbage politician like everybody else.
Yeah.
So they try to present him as this guy who's like, oh, Camelot or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. They don't have me.
Yeah, if everybody suffers and everybody gives everything, then boy, just think how good it would be for the people that are in charge. And if you're on the registry, boy, that's like terrific for you.
They want the slave. They want the cheap labor.
And the top name on the registry was the Kennedys.
Oh, sure.
It goes Kennedys, Rothschilds. Who else is
Astors?
the Nestors. Yeah,
all those. whoever.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm never going to see the other side.
Yeah.
I tried hard too, and I was almost there. And then they crushed me so well after I tried. It's like, that guy's an Irish guy.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? You thought you were going to work your way out of being a poor Irish guy?
Yeah. Well, as long as you have a nice quiet place to sleep and food on the table, that's good.
Yeah, they're coming for that too.
Yeah. Well, then you get them back with the student loans and you know, it's another one to do is squatting. Like squatting is definitely something.
Squatting was interesting.
Yeah, smart people do that too. I think smart people that go against the grain and understand. They can
because if you can get in a place and squat, then they have to go through the government to get you out because there's rules about anti-squatting.
I think that's a brilliant thing too.
Squatting. And then you just plan. You have to plan your next steps with that.
Yeah.
And you have to plan your exit and plan your like 2 days before the court date, the final court date comes, and you have to leave. Yeah. But that'll give you, like, if you can stretch that out after you get caught. So you have to squat until you get caught, and then play the government until you and then leave and say, I just forfeited the and then so they can't do nothing after that.
My buddy lived in like a $1 million development in Dallas, and they had squatters right across the street from his house, like $1 million house. And I couldn't believe it. It's like, and he lived there his family lived there for like a year.
Oh yeah, we used to when I was running the apartment centers for that guy. If we noticed that on this one section, if we had to make sure that we locked the doors up and put bars in them, because we ended up getting squatters, and then it's almost possible to get them out. And then it takes like quite a bit of time. Here, if you know the system, you can get them out earlier, but they can stay there and you can't do nothing, and you cannot do retributive justice. You can't force them out, or else then they'll sue you.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to beat the system, but people are too. They don't think about it. Like they don't think about strategies, because that's all the rich people do. They just think about strategies to screw, not pay their fair share of taxes or whatever, do less work. They want us to do all the work. They don't want to do any of the work. Yeah, they're making money. I mean, they're making pretty much money on interest, and then stock. I mean, they do stock scams, and because that's all collusion. A lot of that's collusion, stocks, and then. Anywhere there's financial markets, there's always going to be collusion from the rich people. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. That's how they keep their money. But ultimately, it comes down to the belief system. Like if you can understand the con they're playing through religion in particular, you can really, start winning. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I could figure out how to win it at this point. I just got to figure something out. I've been saying that for about a year now, huh, Joy?
Well,
I got to come up with something new, and man.
Yeah.
Forrest got a question for us. I think you find interesting.
Hey, Trav, would you consider doing a stream in the Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, the pyramid? What do you think?
Yeah, you know how I feel about that. It's like we could do a stream someday and just get into it. It's not going to be. It won't be a positive stream.
I was just going to say that.
It's going to be a very, very negative stream. I have a very low opinion of Maslow, and I have a high opinion of Jung and Adler, and I have a very low opinion of Freud and Maslow, because I think they made their existence from pop culture.
Yeah.
And the guys that really did the heart of the work were Jung and Adler, especially Adler. Adler has like thousands and thousands and he was the head of the psychiatric board at that point. And Freud came in and took over that position with very little actual true information. Now, Maslow was a product hierarchy, take a triangle and give it some, and then, but that it was an appeal to low intelligent people and populism. So it became like, I would, if we do take a look at it, we could do that someday, and then we could rearrange the blocks. And see what would self-actualization really be on top, and what what is self-actualization? What are you transcending to in that? And some people say transcendence on that now, because self-actualization is sort of like a non-state of affairs. So we can stick with like how to put like a MGTOW triangle. We can consider making a MGTOW triangle with the same hierarchy of needs. That would be an interesting one. You want to do that like sometime this week?
Oh, you're there? I lost you.
Yeah.
No, I was just looking at Maslow, right? The middle one is love, like the intimate relationship. Like you don't get past the third level unless you have an intimate relationship.
Right,
like,
unless you got an intimate relationship with people. Right. So we have to change those twos. And in MGTOW, if we made a MGTOW triangle of needs, what would that look like?
Yeah.
I think we should do that this week.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we can sit down one day and figure through it, and then give what would your self-actualization be in MGTOW? What do you come to? Your happiness. We can use like happiness as a something. We'll come up with something and research it.
Yeah.
Maslow makes me laugh. The belonging.
Yeah. Well, he was put in there. He was just a tool for the.
Right. He was a tool for, and you got to look at what was happening in logical positivism at that point, and you have to look at the whole thing that was happening at that point. Existentialism was beginning to become a movement, and skepticism was already there from Nietzsche, and so all these ideas have it was transcendent from the modernism. So it's an interesting thing that happened, but I just put it as Freud and Maslow were popularized by media because they were easy subjects to understand. And with Maslow, you have to it's really hard for me to. I did one video on it, and I could show you how it's how they take that idea, and that's the the high excitement salesman. That's the course that they give, and it's all based on hierarchy of needs. For it's a sales thing. It's how to sell people happiness, or metaphysical happiness. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is all based on selling metaphysical happiness.
Yeah, it's like Christianity, same thing.
Yeah, when MGTOW is real happiness, and
right.
Or you can take that choice, you weigh it up and see which one weighs more, But we could do that this week. That'd be interesting. We could take the MGTOW sign and make it into the MGTOW hierarchy of needs, but it's not a triangle. It's better. It's a square turned sideways.
Yeah, about Trav's square of MGTOW.
What do they call that square? That's a
pyramid, the box, or whatever.
Not a pyramid.
Rubik's cube.
It's still a square, but it's an isometric. I can't remember.
Now they crack me up. These like symbols, symbology, and they try to get in your head. They're trying to get in your head. It's
the same idea. If you can get you to buy into this is happiness, and you do it, it lowers your stress and raises your dopamine, and that's what it's about. And they can claim an altruistic purpose for it, but it's based on a lie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather have real happiness and, generate your real dopamine and not have it, not have it be a lie? Some, truthfulness in MGTOW is big. Most of MGTOW, so a lot of MGTOW that MGTOW light, they're still basing their opinions on some untruths. That's where I see you got the 70% I was talking about earlier. It's a 70% truth. And is that better than the 30% truth? Well, obviously, yes. But still, there's a 30% chance of a margin of error.
Yeah.
That's the MGTOW light. And it even gets worse down as you go to MRA frat boy MGTOW. It becomes worse and worse as you go down the bar.
Oh, yeah. That's what people think MGTOW is smashing beer cans and
on
their heads.
Gonna smash some beer cans and smash some strippers and woo.
Right, smash some strippers and cross your fingers you don't get them pregnant, and then go to the next one.
I could tell some stories I have stories from my bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frat boy culture is under serious review now, anyways.
Yeah.
But we should review it in MGTOW too, because it's just a horrible, horrible thing, and it's
Yeah,
I watch it in my favorite sport all the time. The announcers have that frat boy mentality, and I want to say, just grow up.
There was a in the 70s at a school I went to. They had this one guy died, and he died. He choked on his own vomit in the trunk of a car.
Well, that's what it tends to, is those fraternal orders where you have to loyalty. It goes back to the same idea of loyalty as morality, and you have these fraternal orders where your loyalty will be considered morality. So just you have to drink 2 bottles of vodka.
Yeah, and they threw him in the trunk of a back seat of a car.
Yeah.
He got so drunk.
Ooh, look, you're throwing up. Now you're one of us. How stupid is that?
Yeah, and he died
because they bound you to some morality, some hidden morality and loyalty.
Yeah, I remember that. It was in the 1970s. But I went to school there in the 90s for a few years. 1960s.
Yeah. Like bachelor parties are like that too. Like we're gonna.
Yeah, that's why I never joined the frat.
We're gonna feed you like 62 shots and see if you die. Oh, you're my friends. Yeah. Just tell me not to get married.
Yeah. Oh wow, there were other deaths there. Oh, wow, look at this. Yeah, it's just crazy. Hazing deaths. Yeah, hazing. Hazing deaths. Yeah.
It's like, oh man, this world that I live in. Sometimes I'm just thinking, man, that felony once starting to look good. It just makes me crazy to have to look at these people. I go to prison and hear all the stupid stories of people that did things, unintentionally stupid. Well, I did mine on purpose.
Hazing death. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Hazing deaths. Yeah. Chuck Stencil, that was his name. I remembered his name.
Chuck Stencil. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he died the same day. He died the same day. I shouldn't dox myself. He died like the same day. Wow, this is really weird. The date of his death is really strange. Okay, so yeah, this guy Stencil was woken and taken with other pledges. Okay, I'll just read it through Wiki.
Okay.
Stencil, this guy, because I went to school at this place for a little while, and Stencil was awoken and taken with other pledges, stripped, placed in the trunk of a car and told to drink a pint of Jack Daniels, a 6-pack of beer, and a bottle of wine between them. 3 of the men were unconscious when they opened the trunk. He was left in his dorm for several hours until they finally brought him and 2 other unconscious pledges to the hospital. The 2 other men regained consciousness after 72 hours, but Stencil died of severe pulmonary edema. So I don't know. I thought he vomited.
Yeah.
But that's wow, that's a lot of alcohol. A pint of Jack Daniels, 6-pack of beer, and a bottle of wine. Wow, that's a lot of alcohol, man. It's like, and then for them to even be so stupid to actually drink it. Well, just take it and just dump it out just pour it like
and then you're in the trunk of a car where you're moving around and you get slammed against the side and everything, and they're probably doing that purposely.
Wow. Yeah, it's a true story. This happened. Clan Alp. Yeah, I remember those guys. They tried to pledge me. That was actually the football frat.
Yeah.
And then I never joined. So I never joined. So think about it. I went to school there early '90s. So I didn't join the frat. And now since then, you can see it on Wikipedia. There've been tons of other deaths after that. Like you would figure that, okay, that's the end. That's the last time they're going to. No, you look through the Wikipedia page, and I guarantee you there's a lot more than what they've listed here.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's tons more. Just Wikipedia. Not the high-profile ones.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of alcohol, huh? Holy mackerel.
Yeah, or the ones that you think about, the ones where the optics wasn't right, so they didn't put them in there.
The group morality, you're right. So that's like the thing, addiction to what do you call it? Loyalty to the group. Loyalty to the group.
Oh, yeah, to prove concept. Your loyalty through an act of bravery or whatever, or intestinal fortitude.
That was loyalty to the group. Yeah, exactly. Holy shit, man! This has been a good podcast that we're talking about this stuff because, and a lot of it's family, right? Loyalty to the family.
Right. Yeah, they become who. Well, yeah, you're ostracized from your family, sent to college. Then this became your new family, and who's your new father? Your new father is that leader, or the group becomes the
president
family.
Of the frat.
Yeah, the frat boy, and then you have to do and act and say stupid things in the same way that they think is being quippy and quirky. It's like it's a lot like a gang too. That's the same idea of gang mentality, where the gang becomes the family, and then because it all goes back to the baby mama system. Your rite of passage. It's often cloaked in a rite of passage.
Even could you imagine being like a great athlete and you're a MGTOW? Even that would be like a really kind of an awkward situation a lot of times, right? Because they're always
right. I bet you it would. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it would. Because they got their own group loyalties too, right? And
if you don't say the company lines and you don't believe in. They hold people. I think that's why the Indians are so bad right now, is because the people that they should have promoted up didn't have the right image, and the people that they did promote up had the perfect image that that had the look, had the group loyalty, presented themselves as that thing that was,
You're talking about Bauer being let go?
Right. Yeah. Bowers was that kind of guy. And you look at those guys, they were all really good looking guys. They were all the alpha males, but they weren't really good baseball players.
Yeah.
So, but
would you say Bauer was bad getting rid of Bauer, right? Or no?
Oh, Bauer. Yeah. Trevor Bauer. Yeah. The other Bauer.
It was bad getting rid of him. I never understood why they got rid of him.
Yeah. Now look at what he violated the social norms. Didn't he?
Talking about now with the Dodgers, but I'm talking about
even back then he would violate the social norms.
He took the baseball once and he took the baseball and he was pissed. He took the baseball and he threw it. He threw it
up in the stand.
Yeah.
So he wasn't the married guy he wasn't going to get married.
Yeah.
He was out of the norm, so they had to get rid of him.
Right.
Now look at the team we have now that are based around guys that are hitting barely 221, but they look the part. They act the part. The group loyalty is there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's strange. It's strange. Well, it's that was a whole rumor with remember the Seattle Seahawks when they Russell Wilson threw that interception against the Patriots.
Yeah.
So the rumor then I read was that they didn't want. They should have just gave the ball to Marshawn Lynch. He would have scored. But the rumor was that they didn't want to give it to Marshawn to be the hero of the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
That's why they passed it there, which is really stupid. But because they figure, it's just Pete Carroll's an idiot. Because all you had to do is give the ball to Marshawn, but Marshawn wasn't the guy the image that they wanted to have.
Right. Marshawn was the image
right. Even though he was the guy that kind of led him to the Super Bowl, pretty much.
Yeah.
He was the best player on that team.
Yeah, so you can see how that whole Christian thing just comes out in sports too.
Right.
Sometimes, and it's really
Russell,
bad. It has
and then
really
Russell,
bad.
yeah, and then Russell throws the pick, and the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Like all you had to do, Russell should have overruled it.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know. He's a creepy kind of guy.
Yeah. Now look at Tom Brady, the chosen one. Why is he chosen? They say you're chose for a purpose, and Tom Brady represents the chosen one. He's the guy that's married. He's got the look. He's got the he's the look at him and the way him and Gronk were acting at the latest thing. They're frat boys.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's what they want. That's what the corporations want. They want you buying into all that garbage, that big lie. And now they're like, ooh, I'm going to grow up to be Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you're not.
I was reading about these guys that
that's
Alabama
the Jesus
quarterback.
Yeah, that's their new Jesus.
Yeah, the Alabama quarterback hasn't even played a down yet in college. And he got $1 million in endorsements because of the new deals they have with these college athletes. He got $1 million in endorsement.
Yeah.
Now he hasn't even played it down in college. I'm not talking about pro. And Nick Saban. I like Nick Saban, but he sometimes he pisses me off too because he talks about your brand. Gotta have your brand.
Well, that's their brand.
It's just corny. It's just that's what Saban said. It's because of our brand. That's why he did so well out of high school, because of his brand. And it's just, I don't like how the whole thing is set up.
Whatever the mission statement of the owner is, whatever that happens to be in social justice, that's the brand.
And didn't they change their name, Joe? They didn't change their name, did they? They're still the
they did. Yeah, next year it'll be the Guardians.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Claire Guardians?
The Claire Guardians. Yeah, the guardians of all truth and honor and manliness. They're going to be. Can you imagine how that's going to go? And they represent it so well because they've already proven through their system that they don't want good baseball players. They want Tom Brady-ish baseball players. And they'll make him. They'll give me the man that believes everything I believe in, and we'll make him great. They believe in that. And it's
it's really crazy. You're right. This group loyalty thing is really getting out of hand.
Right. Yeah. It's group loyalty. It's like who is the Dolans are, the owner there. And I don't know who the sub owners are and everything, but think how that Guardians thing. And as you drive into Cleveland, you see the two Guardians, and it's just funny that the two Guardians are Aztecs.
Okay. Oh, this one guy, it's pretty cool. This one guy made this new sheriff. Did you read about this? This guy, his wife is Cherokee and Blackfoot Indian American. Has no issue with the old name of the baseball team. He's a sheriff, Cleveland native. And the sheriff said his grandfather's listened to Cleveland baseball games on AM radio and watch on television. They're turning over in their grave with anguish and disgust.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy. You hear about this guy? This Portage County Sheriff.
Oh, the Portage County Sheriff. Yeah, I probably know.
Yeah, it's a good article. It just came out today. It just came out now. Yeah, he signed up a cultural controversy by using his elected position to criticize the new name of the Cleveland Browns professional baseball team. Well, that's pretty good. Or Cleveland Indians. Yeah, it's another attempt to try to erase our history due to the outcry of the few that affects the many. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's pretty smart, this guy. He knows his shit, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're right. They're trying to present this thing. I don't know. That's a corny name too. Guardians.
Yeah. If you look at it, it's Indians. It's half Indians, and then they just put guard on Indians. It's Guardians.
The Clarions.
So I guess they thought that was going to just float by and no one's going to notice that because it looks like Indians, so it won't offend you too much in that sense.
Yeah, group loyalty. Wow, that's really sick, huh?
Yeah, but now we have this group loyalty thing growing in where I don't know what it's probably WASP loyalty and whatever they say is, and there's probably a lot of social justice, and you can see there is a lot of social justice in it, and it's like that's the new game now, and it doesn't matter if you can play. This is when things get all whacked out, like baseball like when we were kids, like who was chosen, who was not chosen. I could never get that third base position, even though I was a better third baseman.
Yeah.
They were going to make it so difficult on me. I could never be that because he was already chosen. And he belonged to the church, and he belonged to the club and the Rotary Club, and his father was in the Rotary Club, and my father wasn't in the Rotary Club,
Yeah.
So they're bringing back that
the
kind
Eagles
of
club, the Elks club.
Yeah, they're bringing back that kind of hatred, that kind of in-group
the
hatred.
fraternal order. You were in the fraternal
orders, yeah.
The Brotherhood of the Snake, Joe. Join that. The Brotherhood of the
Snake. Brotherhood of the Skunk. That's actually the chapter of the Hells Angels that I was. Yeah.
Ooh, they might knock on our doors today, Joe, and stab us.
Yeah, it's a possibility that they, I always thought that there's a certain group of people that hate me when I drive my bike. It's like
really?
I traced them back to the neighborhood watch group, and I was like, oh yeah, they hate me. It's like because I'm violating their in-group preferences.
Yeah.
It's like, they believe that bikes shouldn't be on the road and they're just for cars and people.
Yeah.
It's like the same idea applies. It's like, so I'm hated, so they're going to come to my door. It's like, and it was a Christian group that started this neighborhood watch too, so I could see the whole thing going into that Christian ickiness. It's like, ew. And it's like, yeah, they hate me because I'm the resident Muslim, Irish Muslim. No, I'm an Irish Jew. It's like the lady, she pointed. She was like, I was riding a bike up the one. I told you about that. She was the pastor's wife was standing out, and she goes, "See, there it is. Everything that's wrong with America." I was a person of not their religion riding a bike on their street.
Yeah.
So they hate me here. Yeah. It was rather pronounced out there in Portage when I lived in Portage. It was more pronounced. There was like definitely Church of Jesus Christ, which has the cover for the KKK and all that stuff. And it was really pronounced out there. And if you weren't in their group, you weren't going to move up. That's why I had to move out of that area. It's like I was not in their group.
Yeah.
Actually, at that time, I was working for Southern Law Poverty as an investigator, and I mean, they hated me a lot.
Yeah, that's why sometimes there are some positives in living in a bigger city. I guess they're a little more,
That's a county.
They're not as clicky.
Portage, MGTOW Cowboy. Portage is a county in Ohio. Kent State is in Portage County.
Oh, Kent State, where they have the shootings?
Kent State, yeah. So Portage.
Nick Saban went to Kent State.
Yeah. A lot of people.
Jack Lambert.
Yeah,
he's a hell of a football player. Jack Lambert.
Yeah, they've produced some good football players once in a while. Who's the little scamp back that we had? That was he would in Cleveland. I can't remember his name. He had a TV show. Josh Cribbs is Cribbs.
Oh yeah, Joshua Cribbs. Yeah.
Yeah, he came from Kent State.
Jack Lambert, 6'4", 220. He wasn't really a big guy.
Yeah. I was going to get some courses out that way, but I'd have to. And you should see how the system. Oh my God, the system out there was. I was going to go through them, and it was like they made it impossible for me.
Well, you have to. What do you mean? Do it online or?
Yeah, it was just there was some indiscrepancies which went back to the city. The city was making choices, and I wasn't on the registry. It's like, wow. And then so they made it so difficult for me to get anything there.
Yeah.
And I am who I am, the most verbal detractor of they have to censor me. Otherwise I might have 30,000 subs if they don't censor me. That would be awful.
I know they don't. There's something. They're definitely suppressing the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, they do, and then that's illegal because that's when censorship leads to a barrier. They're providing a barrier to my wealth, and it's a barrier to YouTube is a job too, and if they're providing a barrier to where I can't break through, possibly that's what's considered racism. When there's barriers to your success. So think about that. Gender.
Yeah, I face it now. Oh, I don't know. Well, it's ageism. I face ageism.
Yeah. So I'm a gender dynamics. I'm a gender dynamics instructor. So I'm a male. So they're providing a barrier to a male, which is a male is a gender group. They're providing a barrier to my success, and that's the classic example of racism, and that's the classical example of what feminism hates. But they won't say it for a man. It doesn't apply to a man. Them same rules don't apply to a man, but they're inhibiting my success.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a slave.
Yeah.
So you can look at it that way too. Can I sue them for reparations or Yeah, they owe me about $100,000, I suppose. I'll become and collect that YouTube. Don't make me come see you.
Yeah, who's the woman that runs YouTube? Susan
Wojcinski. Yeah, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, Susan Wojcinski. Don't make me come see, get my money.
Susan Wojcinski. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't she destroy the whole company or something?
No, that was Alyssa Myers at Yahoo.
Alyssa Myers, yeah. An idiot.
She destroyed Yahoo. Now, Susan Wojcinski is just a puppet head.
Carly Forlina, she's another one. She destroyed Hewlett Packard, I think.
Yeah, and then there was Theranos with I can't remember the lady's name.
So silly. Corporate world is so silly. If you're a man, don't go in the corporate world. Don't even do it. Don't even do it. You got to be out of your mind. If you're in it, unless you're in a good situation, that's the worst thing I did in life is going into the corporate world when I was at my first kind of sales job.
No, I'm an Irish guy. I just say I'm an Irish Jew or Irish Muslim. It's a joke.
Yeah. I'm an Italian Jew.
I'm an atheist.
I'm a Catholic Jew.
I'm an atheist. It's a joke when I say I'm an Irish Jew.
I'm Jewish. No, you gotta say Jewish.
Jewish because I want to be in their group, but they won't let me in because I'm an atheist. So I have to lie.
Or you can say, what else could you say? What are the good ones? Oh, lesbian. What's the guy say? Like he's a lesbian something, or he's a male lesbian or something. Who's that guy that says that? Something lesbian, or I don't know. He's a transgender lesbian or something. Who's the one talking like that before? Are you live? Oh, you're muted, Joe. You're muted. Yeah, you muted yourself. You
okay. Yeah, just when you go to a work application, just put down trans lesbian.
Yeah.
That's your gender. And because what you're saying is lesbians like girls. I like girls in that capacity sexually. I like wearing cargo pants, and girls they like. So it's the same thing. Yeah. It's like being a dude.
Like they just want you to be ashamed of yourself. That's what they want.
Yes.
Like be ashamed of how you were born, like of who you are and how you're born. It's like it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's why, like you said, when we're in MGTOW, we walk around like we don't peacock and we don't.
It's AKA straight white male. It's what
we don't. Yeah, we don't peacock and we don't draw attention to ourselves. And
no,
we just walk into a room and that's the biggest badass.
No, your measurement on on your inner self should be, if you walk into a room and you command the respect of everybody in that room, like that's what you want. That everybody knows you're in charge. Right. That's what you're gunning for in life.
Right. That's yeah. And then if somebody starts acting crazy, you don't even have to say anything. You just give them a look and
you
just have to give. You don't even have to raise your voice or anything.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to raise your voice.
Your presence alone should kind of and it kind of helps because we're big guys, so we kind of people are automatically like scared of us. Like
I'm old now. I'm not big anymore.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
but
I don't know. So we don't, but there's no need to act crazy or get upset or
I didn't know that till I was like 40 some, and Michelle, the one that got killed she often said to me, Joe, don't you know what happens when you walk into a room? Because I didn't know. That's how Christian I was. I didn't know the effect I had on people.
Yeah.
She says, when you walk into a room, it's like a sunshine just came in with authority.
Yeah. I remember a guy telling me, because man, if I was as big as you, I wouldn't be fucking scared of anybody because I wouldn't give a shit about anything. And I was like, I didn't really realize that either. It's like, because but
yeah.
But you get older and you kind of
still big. Is it still? I can't do it anymore. I can't. Yeah.
I haven't lifted weights since the Corona.
My guns aren't what they used to be.
I haven't lifted weights since Corona.
Man, I wish I would have showed myself as when I went through the thing with Zeta, and my guns got so fucking defined, and they were just huge, and they went up to like 22 inches or something, and they were just like there were little knots in it all over my arms, and I have the picture of it I could show you, but I didn't show myself back then when I was just a little bit younger, and like we had done the testosterone enhancements in green superfoods for like almost 6 months, and I was like, Jesus.
That probably works, huh?
Yeah, oh God, it works good. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the aspartic acid.
Yeah.
So we didn't use the one, we purposely didn't use the one that was it was the argument that we were trying to get out, the androtestosterones versus the regular aspartic acid testosterone, and we decided that androtestosterones are really bad for you, and just do aspartic acid and then do what they say on the package. Just read the package.
How about hokaoids?
If you can take the blood of hoka and condense it and just put it in you, and then all of a sudden you're jumping over, like on a bike, you're jumping over rivers and shit.
Who's MGTOW Cowboy? I don't know who is that guy. MGTOW Cowboy.
I think he's been around. I've seen him before. He's probably a good dude. If he's a MGTOW, he's a good dude. I'll tell you. I'm 6 even now. I used to be a little taller.
Last time I checked, I was 6'1".
Yeah.
Something like that, or 6'2". I don't know.
As you get older, you start shrinking. It's like, damn.
Do you shrink? Do you shrink when you get older?
Oh yeah, you do shrink. It's like I realized that. I was like looking at myself the other day, and I was like, damn, you're short.
Yeah.
I've never had any back issues either, but
I got my first back issue last year because I was riding my bike too much.
Yeah,
I was putting in 2-3 hours a day sometimes.
But I took precautions when I was younger, because I did get one. I went to a really good doctor, and he was probably one of the really best doctors in my life. And he says, "Okay, you're just overworking yourself." He said, "Before you go to sleep at night, what I want you to do is sleep on your back." And he says, "And just roll over and roll back and stretch your vertebrae out, and then go to sleep."
Yeah.
And I did that for a while, and it rebuilt the cartilage in between and everything was fine after that. And I remember that. That's the way I sleep now. It's like you stretch it out and then plant yourself where you can feel it stretched out and then go to sleep.
Yeah. Andre the Giant was 7'4".
Andre the Giant was a huge. I watched a movie with it. I didn't realize he was in the movie. Oh, it was the Star Trek. Star Trek Enterprise. He was the Orion. He was the big Orion, and I didn't realize that was him.
Oh, was he in makeup or something?
Yeah, he was all blue. They painted him blue, and I was like, oh, and then I realized that's Andre the Giant.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw him, like, who the hell is this guy? Like, you didn't think he was real, you know? I was like, he's like so much larger than life, literally.
Yeah, some of those guys are larger than life. I remember when I went down to a thing down in Cleveland, and one of the linemen for the Cleveland Browns was there, and he was just huge. It was unbelievably big, and he didn't weigh a lot. And I was like, how is that? Did he get like different? Is there different like molecular structure in this guy?
Yeah, I remember seeing Bob Golick. He was doing a game at the university.
Yeah,
not Bob Golick. What's the other guy's name? Mike Golick, the guy that did the Mike and Mike.
The Mike and Mike show.
Mike Golick. Yeah, so I've seen Mike Golick. I'm looking at him now. He's 6'4", 6'5". But I was like, he made me look small, you know. Like, and yeah, he played in the NFL. He's a guy that I think, like, he made me look small. Like he was only 6'5". He says 265, but when I see him, he must have been over 300.
Yeah. There's
just a big, tall guy. I was like,
there's an endomorphic structure that these guys got. That they're just. It's like their molecular structure is lighter and bigger. And I have the mesomorphic structure where I'm condensed and wider. Yeah. It's like, so I was wondered about that. It's like, wow, this guy's the same weight as me. And he's like 6'8", and he's just huge. It's like,
yeah. So I had a friend like that. He was like 6. He was taller, bigger than Goal. He was like 6'6", 400. He was like, and he should have been. He could have been an NFL lineman. I think he was, because he was an all-state basketball player.
Oh, was he good athlete?
Yeah, he played basketball. He was really thin, and he started playing poker, and he gained all this weight.
Okay.
After playing, you know, because those pizzas add up.
I was going to say, he wasn't chosen.
No. I think if he had played football he definitely could have, because he had great footwork and coordination, and he was tough, and he was just, you know what I mean? Like, he had.
I see a lot of guys that could have been athletes, and I have the story of my cousin too. He was a starting wide receiver for Indiana, and he met a baby mama, had little babies, and then that ended his career.
Yeah, Andrew, like it kind of, and I hate to sound like such a downer.
He had a draft spot too. There was a draft spot for him.
Yeah,
he was going to get drafted, and he had no way to pay the child support, so the school ostracized him, and now he's a roofer.
Yeah, and they destroy dreams, don't they? Women.
Yeah, they destroy
the women. Yeah, it's not just women. Like, it's the state. You're in a contract with the state.
Yeah, this guy had all-star talent too. He was a very good wide receiver, and
oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah,
and that ended, and I see a lot of guys like that have really a lot of talent that, either they didn't believe in the company bylines, like I say, there was no loyalty, or baby mama came along, and then all of a sudden he's working in a 9-to-5.
I know they don't see the big picture,
Yeah,
that's what it is. They don't see the big picture. I think it's that simple. Like, they're just not taught, and then that's why these podcasts are important that we're doing. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people are, at least according to YouTube, they don't listen, but I think we have more listeners than they lead on.
Yeah, I can see that happening in my sport too. Mountain biking is like the sport I love the best. It's starting to turn. It used to be these free-minded, like MGTOW guys. Now it's starting to turn where they're condensing it to people that think like they do. That the branding and the image is more important. So they have to lower the bar of what these kids can do. So when I look at the UCI and I look at the even Red Bull yesterday, Hardline, it wasn't the same. It was like they excluded all the North Americans from it to begin with, and then it was just guys that they wanted to see there. So to do that, you have the top athletes, the guys that are really good at it, they're not gonna be invited. And it was just, you could see the whole corporate thing starting to play out. Yeah. Where when they showed the guys, it was like there was a couple guys that shouldn't even have been invited, and they have talent, and they have these followings and the talent, and they have those excitable salesmen, those enthusiastic salesmen for the brand, and that's how they got in. So the bar lowered and the talent level, so you didn't get to see like really anything special, but that's what you're supposed to accept as special now.
Yeah. No, I think like a lot like Jim. I remember Jim Rome. Remember Jim Rome? You know, he is the
Jim Rome,
talk show sports guy.
Yeah.
I remember like early in the days, he would always make fun of NASCAR.
Yeah.
Call like neck car, you know, like red neck car.
Yeah, he hated NASCAR. Yeah,
he hated NASCAR, and then before you know it, when he got really big, he started getting really big, and because he like was apologetic that he was
right. Yeah, he was all apologetic.
That was all because his managers or whoever, you know what I mean, sponsors.
Right. Yeah, you could see it, and they carried the right wing lines, and he started becoming. He went conservative and on a lot of things, and it's like nobody listens. Who listens to Jim Rome now? I mean, I used to listen to him dedicatedly when he was that free and independent thinker.
Not the same.
Not the same now. No, the
product.
He sold out. It's a brand now.
It's a brand. He simped
out. It's ESPN brand.
Yeah. It's his whether his wife twisted his arm or whoever.
Yeah.
He simped out for the money. He simped out for the money.
Yeah. I don't care what he says anymore because
he's not edgy anymore.
He's not edgy.
He was very edgy before, like 20.
Right. Yeah, he was edgy, and he's always bumping against the the considered norm.
He called Jim Everett Chris Everett. Remember?
Chris Everett, and
because I bet you're not going to say that again, and that's good. Like Jim Everett stuck up for himself, you know, and they pushed him off the chair. Remember that? But you're right. You see that a lot. Now
you got to think about the sports you're watching. How much better it could be if
all these independent thinkers. Right. It's all they got to go to group loyalty.
They got to go to the group loyalty thing now, and that's not grading on the curve goes down then. And
like Deshaun Watson, I think is going to go through that now.
Deshaun Watson too. Yeah,
now he's going to get married. He'll get married.
What do you have to do to fix that? Well, you got to get married. You got to become a feminist and say the company bylines and say you have to admit your guilt. I believe that's on YouTube too. You can see if I would come out and admit my guilt and say I was wrong about everything I said, they would institute me.
Right.
And if I wasn't an atheist, and I carry the company bylines and just do what they say, and I'd be popular, but how would I feel about myself?
Yeah.
You guys rely on the truth, and I think I'm one of the better examples in MGTOW that says basically the truth about everything, but it's not afraid still.
Yeah. Yeah, you have your own opinions.
Yeah, and I don't get paid for this. I always say that I don't get paid to be, the truth bearer, and they will try to kill the truth bearer. They look what they did to Socrates.
Yeah, it's bad.
They might want to come to our house. It's a very interesting observation you made that someday they might come to our house.
Yeah.
They try to wound us or make sure we don't if I didn't have a house, I couldn't do this. They can make sure they take my house and shut me up, just like the Nazis would.
I know they're crazy, man. They're the lunatics. Is these?
Yeah, they are lunatics, and
Yeah, they don't want you to be happy. Like I think that's what it
no,
comes down
no,
to. That's
all
simple.
men
They
got
want
to
you to be
suffer,
crazy
and
all
no man could experience happiness. But make a girl unhappy, and boy, you violated all their rules.
the time. Yeah,
You will go
yeah,
blue pill jail for that, and then they'll rape you.
yeah.
That's how they fix everything. They rape you.
That's why you beat them at their own game. You do like those strategies I was telling you about, and some people would disagree, but you have to, like my friend.
That's why I worry about taking my bike ride. I joke about it. It's like, man, I don't want to be raped.
Man, yeah,
My long distance bike
that
ride.
happens a lot, and I get in prison. I was kind of naive to that because I have two friends that are, two friends that are now.
Yeah, that's how they punish you. They decrease your cortisols by the threat of rape.
But I don't think these guys, like, you'd almost have to kill them before you rape them.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't
never
think it's
rape
gonna
me.
happen. You can never. Yeah, these guys are too tough, and
Yeah, you try to rape me, and you're gonna lose all that down. I'm gonna tear it the fuck off.
oh yeah, these guys. I have this one guy. He'll literally take your eyeball out. He'll literally.
I will take your eye out.
You try to rape him, he'll literally.
Yeah, you're gonna lose your hearing because I'm gonna stick some pencil in your
He
hair.
would actually take his finger, and I'm not joking. He would take his fingers, pick it in your eye, and he would take your eyeball out literally if you ever tried to rape him. So like I was talking to this girl, like this Daytona Beach bimbo bitch, and she's like, "Oh, you go to jail. They rape you. It doesn't matter how tough you are, how big you are."
Well, that's the threat.
That's the threat, right?
Yeah, they get your uncomfort, your level up. That's the threat of Christian rape. That's retributive justice for them. Christians love rape as punishment. I mean, imagine that. It's like that's retributive punishment for people that are perceived to be bad through nonviolent crimes. They're going to send you to jail and rape you. That's how they get people not to do these nonviolent crimes, which are just tax crimes. You're not paying your amount of tax to the system.
Right.
Let's use the correct language. They'll use other language and say you're cheating and stuff, but you're just not paying taxes to the system. Like sell drugs without their permission. But if you pay the taxes, and if you're selling drugs, you can continue selling drugs as long as you launder it correctly and the taxes get paid.
Yeah. And my friends are one of them is Marine,
and you can get a deal from the pharmaceutical company if you are on the registry, but I'm not on the registry.
Right. It's a sick world. It's really is. I cringe when I see police officers now. Like I don't blame them. I know they're just doing their job. They're low-level guys, but it's just cringy when they drive by me. And I literally try to pull over and just wait until they leave. I just don't even want to because I got pulled over twice when I was driving cross country.
Now, MGTOW Cowboy,
$350. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, MGTOW Cowboy is right because most rape happens to younger guys. It's Stifler's mother's rape. Like she's an older predatory female, and she takes advantage of his young what is it we talk about? Al Pacino and the
Graduate.
The Graduate,
Dustin Hoffman.
That's the kind of rape that usually happens to young guys. They take advantage of their horniness they make it so it's shame them, for not having sex. And then these older women take advantage of those situations. Stifler's mother, which was rape on those, these kids weren't even out of high school yet. And they take advantage of that. You hear a lot of these stories from men, which you're not allowed to talk about because you'll make the girls unhappy if you talk about how they rape these young kids. Yeah, that's where most rape happens. Male rape is to use they'll use their biology against them, and then I see a lot of guys my age that had really regrets about the first girl they did. It's like she was a fat old lady, and he just did it to say, I did it.
Mine wasn't fat, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was still stupid. I wish I never even went there, but.
Mine was a 60-year-old school teacher, and I regret that. It's like,
oh, sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to laugh.
It's funny. Like I was barely 8th grade.
I had a couple. Well, mine was I was maybe 14. I was with this black chick. She was nicest boobs you've ever want to see in your life.
Yeah.
Damn, thank you, honey.
Thank you.
And, yeah, she was good. And then, but it's being silly talk now. But better off not even pursuing that. But you're right. There's that sick double standard.
There is a sick double standard.
Yeah.
I was raped by I volunteered for it because I remember volunteering for it because I wanted to be able to say that I had sex.
Right.
The peer pressure of it.
Right. The peer pressure. Yeah. I lived in a dorm. When I was 18. It's like half men, half women, and it's like I lived on the floor. So one floor was all women, one floor was all men, and then the third floor, I lived in the third floor, was half men, half women. So it's like so easy to hook up. But it was really not a good place for me. That's not a good environment when you're in college. You know what I mean? It's really not. You should be have your own room and have your own privacy and focus on your studies or whatever you're in college for. Instead, it's like, see how stupid that is? Like to put people in those situations like that, like where bad things can happen. You get her pregnant, whatever.
Yeah.
It was so accessible. Like the sex was so accessible.
Right. The sex is really accessible in those dorm situations. And
it's not good. You're
right. Mentality, and you got the immature females.
It's all bad. It's all bad.
I
went MGTOW on that dorm after a year. The next year, I went MGTOW and I asked the university, give me I want my own room and I want a dorm with all men. Because I didn't want to have that temptation. Because I hooked up with so many. The first year I hooked up with so many women.
Yeah, that could ruin your entire.
I easily could have got one of them knocked up.
Right. Yeah, it could ruin your whole life. You can't pay child support and go to college at the same time. That's impossible. You become a working class.
Right. That would have been terrible. 18, and I hooked up with probably 5 or 10 women probably, and they were all pretty good looking. These weren't freaking. Circa Juliette Lewis looking women. They were much better looking.
They didn't look like as beautiful as Juliette Lewis.
Yeah, they were pretty. Yeah, they were shit. It's like
I know a lot of girls.
It's really amazing. I didn't get any of them.
I know a lot of girls that look like Juliette Lewis and Sarah Parker Jesser. If that's a archetype of woman, I used to know a ton of those.
God, they're so ugly, and it's so funny how Hollywood tries to present them as these beautiful women.
Yeah,
and my brain and my common sense tells me no, they're actually really ugly. Especially Juliette Lewis. I mean, she's arguably the ugliest woman on the planet right now. I think.
Yeah,
she's very ugly. She looks like a man with a wig. Something wrong with it.
There's something wrong with her face. Yeah. Now a lot of guys think that look of like you said with your buddy that likes the goofy looking ones.
Yeah.
Autistic look.
The
neotenous autistic look.
Yeah.
And that's just no. She's you shouldn't be around girls like that because she's slow. You can't take advantage of a person but a lot of guys like that because they see him as it's a predatorial thing. They see him as easy tricks.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because you can tell they're slow. You can look at their face and go, "Oh, she's got slight autism."
Yeah, who would say that? I was like saying, who would say that they like a woman that has a goofy face? You're right. That makes sense. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, because that's where the characteristics show up.
Yeah, lack of confidence, and the man has lack.
The lack of confidence.
They want the control. They want to control,
and yeah. Now that's where I think that, like, when I see a guy like that, like, oh, she's attractive, and like she got that goofy look, like Juliette Lewis has, and it's like that's taking advantage of a handicapped person.
Yeah, she's definitely like, gosh, she's just so annoying. Like just the whole annoying thing, like with her. That scene, I talk about that scene in that.
Now, Sarah Jessica Parker, I got a different theory about that. She got the square shin.
Yeah.
You know what that says?
No.
Too much testosterone in her mouth.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's how she got to the top.
Well, she looks like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Yeah, she looks like Dee Snider.
Right. So,
but that shows up. A lot of girls that do that thing. What produces the testosterone in your body?
Oh, okay, the sperm.
Yeah, they take that and then it gets in their face and they get the square chins. That's how you can tell a girl that does that a lot.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's because these are.
That's the same thing as if you put your mouth down there. What are you doing? You're eating 5 milligrams of you're eating 5 milligrams of estrogen, pure estrogen.
Yeah.
and that's why the men get effeminated.
Yeah. Gosh, that's
stupid,
crazy.
Stupid people.
Yeah. That wasn't something I did. So
No,
I was fortunate to, because
yeah.
I knew there was even like my natural instincts told me don't do that.
No, I recoiled all the time when I seen people doing that. I was like, oh, don't.
Well, that's why they push it on like pornography, you know, these kind of
Yeah,
things.
they push it in pornography stuff, and if I even see it, I was like, oh God, that's repulsive.
It's repulsive, and it's unhealthy.
It's unhealthy. Yeah,
it's unhealthy.
You're taking 5 milligrams of keep doing that. Do that every day, and you'll turn into
you'll go crazy probably.
You'll have an imbalance. You'll go crazy, and you'll start displaying feminine characteristics.
Yeah. And, well, that's what we have. That's pretty much you just
That's
described.
pretty much what we have.
Right.
And that explains it.
And a culture that celebrates addictions. They think it's funny. It's funny to have an addiction. It's so cool to have an addiction.
Yeah, they got addictions to the feel good drugs, the oxytocins and the neurocephrins and I don't know if the neurocephren or the I can't pronounce that right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up. Yeah, the video.
Vasosuppressants and
love is a drug. I mean, it's a drug. I mean, wow.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of endocrinology work, neuroendocrinology you're going to have to do as a MGTOW. Do it, and then you'll understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, take a course, and it's really easy. You just start, what is a pheromone?
Right.
And then you ask yourself that question. Go look up what is a pheromone, and it's a dead bacteria.
Yeah. That's another thing that came up too in that movie. That movie with McConaughey. What's it called again? What's it called? Development.
Arrested Development. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Arrested Development.
Oh, it was a movie on Arrested Development.
What was it called?
I can't remember.
I gotta look it up now. But I will look it up real quick. But
yeah, he gives a great speech in one of his movies that I can't find. I think Felix put it up at one time, and if Felix is ever listening, just give me a clue on what movie that was where Matthew McConaughey.
Failure to Launch, but I couldn't find it.
Failure to Launch, yeah, that's what it was. And he gives a great speech over a dinner table about what love is.
Yeah, Failure to Launch.
Now they took that off the internet, and they censored that from the internet, and they put on his he's in love with his wife now, and that's what they fill it in with. They censor the scientific information. Now this is where I was talking about before about truth, and 70% of the truth they're giving you. They give you an alternate truth, and then they replace the factual 100% truth of what he said was factually 100% true, and they replace it with an alternate truth, which is about 70 or 60 or 30% true.
Well, that's the thing. We were talking about SFM and RP, and I talking about how these movies, though. So you get a guy like McConaughey, like he's this bumbling. They present him as this bumbling idiot. Meanwhile, he says something that's very intelligent, right, about the pheromones, right?
Yeah.
That's what they love doing. Hollywood loves doing it.
Right? Yeah, they made a mistake, so they took it down. That's what they did. I was trying to explain that the Star Trek Enterprise was taken down because the last episodes of season 4, they were telling the truth about females in that, and it automatically got cut.
Yeah, and that movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
like he's like this crazy guy with his gun. Meanwhile, he's telling all these truths.
Yeah.
So like they try to make the crazy guy seem, it's a crazy guy. No, the guy telling the truth is a crazy guy.
Right. Where do you see like Hollywood pushing Falling Down, or the mass media pushing Falling Down? They'll never talk about Falling Down. It's like, yeah, there's movies that are just censored. It's like we get censored. They get censored too for stumbling upon a truth.
It just comes down. They just want everybody dumbed down.
Yeah, they want everybody dumbed down where you're ambiguous, you're cognitively split, which is that back there, the representation of duality. where you're confused about everything, and confused people make better slaves.
That's right. That's right. They're easier to control, and then
Easier to control, and just believe what your masters tell you, and they'll pit us against each other.
I look at the absurdity of pornography a lot because it's just so absurd.
Yeah, it's just so absurd.
It's a private thing. And you just, let's get the cameras out and let's show this, and then we'll sell it to everbody, and we'll make it.
Yeah, why is it so free on the internet? It's like free.
Right.
It's the only thing you can get for free.
It's just the whole idea is just to make people into a bunch of dummies, really.
Bunch of dumb drones just going after that and thinking that's gonna. I remember how disappointed I was the first time I did it too. I was like, that wasn't at all what they said it was. They said it was going to be the greatest thing in the whole world.
Oh, you're talking about having sex?
Yeah, and it's like that was nasty, and it was disappointing, and it was. Yeah. I mean, the picture I had drawn up in my head didn't match, but I always had the picture of the perfect one. Yeah. It's like that's what kept you going, giving you the dopamine.
It's too much work. And it's like I don't want to.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and
it's like whatever. It's like, and then. It's just, you know what it is? It's not even as much fun as,
No, when you do it after it's like 15 minutes of a pure disappointment, and women have odors, and they're filthy, and they're not what you say they are, and it's like ooh.
Right, and then you think of the consequences of it.
The consequences are high, and then not only the physical, chemical, all that stuff, but also just the way women are. If you ever get into any type of relationship with them, how they want to just pretty much shame you later. Right? Yeah. You're going to be shamed terribly if you want to continue that thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be a good slave. I mean, you volunteered for it. You might be that's all the guys. That's how I do the best slave. You'll be the best slave.
Yeah.
You can be proud of that.
And that's why, again, it goes back to when you're having interactions with these simps and D-baggers, they're dangerous. They're immature. They're just immature people, and they're not going to really help you have a better life. They're going to drag. They want to drag you down to their level. It's leveling. That's what they call it in, psychological. What's it? Leveling. They want you to be at their level, with how you view the world, like their warped way of viewing the world.
You got a kick out of that one. Women they do.
They have cooties. They do. They have cooties.
Yeah, they have cooties. They have odors. That's copulins, and they call it copulins now to make it a better word, or flora. They want to call it flora, and that's bacteria, dead bacteria, and it stinks. It's not flora, and it doesn't have an appealing smell.
Yeah.
Christ. But when you think about it, these things that happen, they're trying to portray it as they're transposons, and their flora it's dead bacteria, it stinks, and it's doing something to your head, and it's aggressive mimicry starts.
Yeah.
And all they want is your true. What the real thing is, men have transposons; they don't have seeds, and it's a. What do you call that when you reverse the truth? It's a reversal of the truth. Nietzsche, the famous Nietzsche, the
gaslighting. I don't know.
No, the trans. I can't think of the word. It's a transdilection of the truth, and
okay.
And it's like no, men have transposons. Women have seeds, and they start growing, and the flora is not flora; it's just bacteria that initiates the aggressive mimicry. It's like that's why the female gets to bite the head off of the male praying mantis, because he's so crazy at that point.
So the female bites the head of the.
Yeah, she just eats them for protein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're going to get eaten too, just in a different way.
Yeah.
Your utility is.
People totally. Go ahead. The utility.
Yeah, that's all. You're going to have all those chemicals that you're going to think there's such thing as love, and your heart's going to be racing, and because of the bacteria, that's why your heart races. That's what they think love is. Because there's bacteria that get stuck on your walls, your cell walls that you shared with a female, that female shared with you, and then you think that, and then they give up these about Cupid and love and your second heart, the metaphysical one that sits next to your real one. No, it's your real one, and it's having problems because you have bacteria in it. Idiots. Christ. But you're not allowed to say those things, and that's why I got taken down last time.
That's the thing, I don't think these men understand how horrifying women actually are.
Yeah, they're horrifying. They're creatures. They're predatory creatures that. I mean, when the praying mantis eats the head on the other praying mantis, that's what she's doing to you. She's going to use you up, and it's all very natural for her.
Right, and then I don't know what they think of us, because they see me. I've avoided all this nonsense for almost 20 years now.
Yeah, I must look
20 years.
I remember the one that came around.
The last real date I really ever went on was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah, I remember the one that came around started calling me the devil, and it's because you're saying truths. Wouldn't you think if there was this superior God, that this entity that was he would respect the truth more?
Yeah.
But obviously, he's a very immature and he's not been filled in very well. He's uninformed God. We have an uninformed God.
Yeah, there's we have to. Yeah, we're not gonna know where we came from, really. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Whatever. It's just part of nature. Everything. This whole idea of this God that has thoughts and morality and stuff is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he has in-group moralities, and he's uninformed. He's jealous, and he's
but it's the afterlife, Joe. The afterlife, everything.
Oh yeah, that afterlife. You get choice between two.
This whole idea of a God that has this.
And he might throw you in hell and burn your soul for eternity because you displeased him.
Yeah, because you looked at that school teacher with lustful eyes.
Yeah, and.
Yeah, Lord, forgive me of all my sins. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, but he forgives all those.
What sins? What are you talking about? I don't know what sins.
He forgives all the Christian rapists.
Yeah, we used to joke around about
you get married, then you get the permission to rape your wife every night and abuse her body, and you go to prison. They rape you as punishment, and it's them are the Christians. Yeah, but they get forgiven because, I guess their money's better. And
all these sins that you've committed. I remember we had this bookie in Florida. He was I don't know, he was involved in some other shit, but he got arrested, and so the cop they go, John, do you know why we arrested you? He goes, oh yeah, I ate because I jumped in because I ate that tuna fish sandwich and I jumped in the pool. I didn't wait 2 hours. I just thought that was hilarious. But that's like a sin, He's supposed to wait 2 hours after you eat the tuna fish sandwich before you jump in the pool. So that's one of the Christian sins, It's that's going to send you to hell.
Yeah, it's MGTOW cowboy, exactly right. That's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, what did he say? I didn't read the quote.
Oh, you want me to put it back up?
Yeah. What did he say?
He says, so basically there's a cocktail of bacteria and hormones that serve to stupefy men and lower his inhibitions to get him to mate. Yes. It's aggressive mimicry.
Yeah, aggressive mimicry. Okay, so
that's what we're talking. We're talking about the other side, the mimicry side, about the bait and switch today, but we'll go into the bacterial and scientific side too. So those work together in a combination where you're at.
It's a mess, and that's why I just focus on just trying to enjoy my life every day. I just try to distress as much as possible. I
know they hate it when we say it, but man, the 15 years I've been a MGTOW, 15, 20 years, it's been the best years of my life. And I know they hate when you display your happiness.
Yeah.
But I would, if I died now, I die a fulfilled man.
Yeah, me too. I was in when I hurt my foot and I couldn't walk for 4 days, and I was on because they had to do a full workup. Everything, thankfully, everything was fine. But my heart rate got up to 200 because of the pain in my leg. My heart rate got up to 200, like standing, laying on the bed. So that was probably a close call, I would say.
Yeah, why were you
here's
so
the thing, I didn't really care. I didn't really care if I died.
Did you have an infection on it?
No, it was it was the back. I had the back, my nerve. I had the nerve. I went to go tie my shoe because I couldn't. I was going to go to the chiropractor because I had a nerve, pinched nerve. It was a pinched nerve in my back to my foot. Anyway, I was at the hospital, and they checked the heart rate and blood sugars. So yeah, my heart rate was 200. Like I wasn't moving. I was laying down. So that was probably a close call, I would think.
Yeah, that's a close call. Anything over 180 is tachycardic.
Exactly. That's what I had.
Tachycardic.
Yeah, but when I was laying down on the bed, I was like, I really didn't care if I died, to be honest with you, because I felt like
you were comfortable with the idea.
Yeah, because I was living the life on my terms.
Yeah, you were living life on your terms, and
right, and I
realized, I'm not afraid of anymore since I realized that it's going to be different than before I was born. Can I think of life before I was born was
good,
exactly the same way. I go back to the same spot.
Yeah. So, but now I can. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I don't exercise as much as I used to. I don't push myself as much as I used to because I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
I walk. Won't see my exercises.
Walking and I like enjoyable exercises.
Yeah,
like riding a bike and walking.
Yeah, that's it. I just do bike ride. I don't go long.
Yeah, I don't worry about my 6-pack. It's like
yeah.
My 2-pack is fine.
In London, they have 8-packs. They
have 8-packs. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do an 8-pack, but like
well, you need an 8-pack if you got a 2 for Tuesday and you got 2 girls.
Well, what's today? Sunday. So is it 7 for Sunday or no?
Yeah. Well, you go to church today, and just
yeah. No, but yeah, this whole thing about sins and you committed a sin. It's just so crazy. It's insane.
It's just that makes you like you're not good enough. You'll never be good.
Right.
Yeah, well, there's always the next hero to aspire to, and you'll never be as good as Jesus. And
yeah, I thought you were going to say Hoka, but that's all right.
Hoka, yeah, and how could I ever, walk over water like Hoka did?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. We were watching a video with RP yesterday, and one of the ladies like, I can make you happy or something. Like she was saying, there was like a billionaire guy, and there was these 4 whores or strippers.
Okay.
These 4 strippers were talking and something about happiness, like I can. Like, oh no, she was saying, I just want to be happy or something. Find someone that makes me happy.
Happy.
That can change day to day, right? It's like,
God, yeah. I always laugh at the pretty woman thing with
Julia Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts. Yeah, the pretty woman. And it's like, ooh, that's all he needed was a good prostitute. And she was like. It's like, oh man, that whole thing is like, and there are some lines in there that are just so bad.
Well, and I remember watching that movie. Wasn't Jason Alexander in that movie?
Yeah, Jason Alexander was.
And he was like the lawyer trying to protect his client, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that movie as a simp and thinking, I haven't seen that movie in 25 years or whatever, but like I remember watching it and thinking, oh, this guy's a real jerk, this Jason Alexander. But now I watch it now and it's like,
I think he's the hero.
Yeah, he's the hero now. He was the guy that's trying to help us. Right. He was actually the smart guy. But that's how Hollywood plays those tricks on people.
Yeah, that's the anti-hero. He's the anti-hero. Right. It's like now. It's like so many girls were into that movie, and I used to not even think about it when it first came up because it's a really old movie, but it's like, what are they saying they want to be? And all the guys were like, yeah, I want you to be that too. I want you to be a prostitute during, night. And then I want you to be this woman during the day.
Right.
it's like, yeah, that's the Christian thing. You get a prostitute at night, but during the day she's a mother and a housekeeper, and she's your other half.
That movie was 1990.
1990, yeah, that was 31 years ago. Wow.
Wow.
What did Julia Roberts turn out to look like? I haven't even looked at her lately.
Yeah, I think she looks good, I think.
Yeah. Did they stretch it back? Like,
I don't know. I think she does look. I think she's. Yeah. I don't know.
Hey, JK, what are the
Julia Roberts,
the group of people that were in Star Trek that they stretched their skins back?
Yeah, Julia Roberts actually is still pretty attractive.
That's a question for JK.
Kind of surprising. Yeah, she's at. Oh, maybe she got her. Well, I see different pictures, but she looks like for her age. I think. Yeah, she's not that old though. How old is she? She can still sell it. She's 53. She's 53.
Oh, she's only my.
She was 23 when she did that movie.
She was 23. Oh yeah.
53. Yeah, 53.
Oh yeah, she would probably been younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks. Yeah, she's not that much older than me. I'm late 40s.
Yeah, that was Richard Gere, was it?
Richard Gere, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Gere was in that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but I remember Jason. You're right. It's funny how you because we were talking about all these different movies and over the weekend with Black Wolf and those guys, and they were like, and we were talking about like I forget what movie he was talking about, like that Spike Lee Do the Right Thing. He was making fun of Spike Lee's character about he was a guy that who's he to go into someone's establishment and tell them how to run their business, right?
Right.
Like you're eating the pizza. You're eating the guy's pizza. You like his pizza. Now you're telling him what he can put on his walls and what he can, you know what I mean? Like, just leave the restaurant. You don't have to throw
Yeah, MGTOW changes everything when you go back.
It really does.
You've seen it. You think about it differently.
Right.
I've been
you're eating his pizza. You're enjoying his establishment, his food. If you don't like the pictures he has on the wall, then just leave. You don't have to start a riot.
Yeah,
be a social justice warrior, and the same thing. I was talking about A Few Good Men. When I watched A Few Good Men, Cruise was a hero, but really Nicholson was the guy that was the hero.
Right,
he was the guy protecting, whatever. It's just a movie, but the point is like Cruise was the real bitch in that movie, not Nicholson.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of those things change for you. You used to think that was the guy I wanted to be. No, I don't want to be Tom Cruise. No. He's like 5'6". He's like 5'4".
Yeah. They're trying to do this justice thing, and Nicholson's just doing his job. He's really, if you look at it, he's just doing his job. He's just he's put in there to be a badass, and imagine having a military with Tom Cruise running things in that movie.
Oh God, no, that would be horrible.
That would be terrible. They would the country would fall apart in like a year.
Social justice. We probably walking around with high heel shoes on. It's like, now you know what it's like to be a girl.
That's why I always cringe when I see.
Now you know what it's like to be stupid enough to wear high heel shoes.
Well, it's always funny to me to see these women police officers too. I always just thought it was hilarious. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like shoot everybody? It's like, you physically can't do it
because you're not gonna physically do anything.
No,
you're not intimidating either.
No, and that's how it leads to probably more things that shouldn't happen.
I remember I laughed at this cop once, and we're going downtown, and we're going to a game, and we all had beers open, and this cop come out, and she just kind of jumped out of the nowhere area, and you guys can't be drinking those beers. And I just looked at her, and I just started laughing, and we just walked away. I just see what you said, like you're gonna do something about it.
Well, now they'll just shoot you. Like that's how stupid they are. Dude, I cringe when I see like police. Like I just cringe, man. They because they got the guns and they're stupid, and it's like I'll just whatever. I'm just gonna do whatever they say. I don't really care. I'll just deal with it in court, and like if I get a speeding ticket or something, I just paid them. I'm like, whatever. I'm not gonna deal with them. I'm not dealing with them.
No, they give the false impression that they're actually like she's gonna judo chop me and like flip me.
Yeah.
No, not gonna happen.
It's like Ronda Rousey. Like remember when she was like hyped up, and I had some guy tell me, here I am. I'm like 6'2", 250. It's like He's like, "Oh, Ronda Rousey, you kick your ass."
Yeah, right. No, I don't think so.
I'm like, I go, why don't you set up the match? I said, yeah, go set up the match. We'll see. We'll see what will happen.
If you wait till I'm like 65, maybe you probably take me at 65. That's probably like all the Claires are gonna come and like attack me and just beat me down.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they like
even like these WNBA. Like I used to play basketball, at the YMCA a lot, and I was probably like, if I were to go as far as basketball as I could, I probably could have played at a community college. I would have been like the 10th man, like, you know, I would have been like man on the bench. I wouldn't even have played for a community college, but I probably would have made the team. I was like a decent athlete. And this one woman, she played in the WNBA, and there were like 10 of us. We played 5-on-5, and we were all decent players. We're all like kind of community college level. Some guys actually played in college. They were really good. And she was like the worst player on the court by a mile. And she was a professional basketball player in WNBA. And she was like so bad compared to us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's like men often excel at, you know, most like excuse me, the runners, the female runners, the speed that they run at, the top speed that a female runner can run at, 17-year-olds in high school often break that speed. Males.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
At least 10 a year.
They had like I think it was the U.S. national soccer team. They lost to like the best teenage boys. They had like I think it was soccer. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. The teenage boys beat them. Like they beat
the teenage boys. Like
they won. They won. Yeah.
It's just we're so athletic at that age. Like
yeah. And these are the best female players.
Then they start the sorting process and like.
Right, but they want equal pay, like that they were fighting for the equal pay and stuff.
Yeah, I remember my warrant officer used to tell me all the time. He says, "Burns, you can sit on any bench in any." He used to say that all the time to me. He said, "Burns, you could, you know, as healthy as you are, and as, you know, you can sit on any bench on any major league team."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I didn't believe him. I was like, all I wanted was ass. Yeah. No, it's funny when you're young, you don't realize how incredible. I mean, even when you're older, you make the adjustment. When you're older, you kind of use your mind more, and you can do more with. I would say like you can do more with less when you're older, right? Yeah. I wish I had the mind I have now. It took me like 40 years.
We don't realize how awesome we are when we're in our, teens and 20s. We're always told that we're pieces of garbage, and you have all this sin, all this lust and sin, and you were born with sin.
Yeah. By the way, Red Pill Rampage will be in October this year.
Oh, okay. What's that?
If you want to see how amazing men are.
I don't know what that is. Oh, is that like a biking thing?
Yeah, down in Utah there where they jump off.
Red Bull.
Red Bull. Red Bull Rampage.
Oh, okay.
And
where's it going to be?
Virgin, Utah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not that far. I'm not that far from that.
Yeah, that's when you get to see a Brandon Flair do a backflip over a 50-foot canyon.
Yeah.
And then you realize how fucking amazing men are.
Yeah.
Stu Manek take a 70-foot drop, just it's controlled falling down and just make a perfect landing. And you're like, wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah, when you do see Fairclaw and he does that canyon drop, watch the drop he does after that. It's not the canyon that he flipped or he did a backflip, and it took his balls must be like they look like two bricks. They just look like two bricks, and that's what guides him.
Yeah.
And then he takes that. It's at least a 75-foot drop off that into this little gully, and it's just dropping, and it's like amazing. Go watch it. Type in Brandon Fairclaw's Canyon Gap at Rampage, and after the first flip, you go, wow, that was incredible, and then but watch the drop afterwards.
Brandon Fairclaw,
yeah. And it's like, and then you watch that whole thing, and you see these guys, each one of them do something so masculine and so unbelievable. It's like it just blows your mind, and it's like wow, men are freaking amazing.
Fairclaw.
Fairclaw, yeah, Brandon Fairclaw.
Oh, Fairclaw, yeah.
Yeah, 50
I'm
foot
looking at
canyon
him
gap.
now. Yeah, I'm looking at him now. He's 33 years old. He's from
Yeah,
the
now
UK.
he just competed yesterday in the hardline.
He's from the UK, actually.
Yeah, he's from the UK. Yeah, yeah. When you see guys when you see men do things like that, it's just like when we remember things that we done when we were like amazing things that I've done in my lifetime, you know, and no one's seen, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at some Instagram. He's a pretty incredible guy, huh? Wow, look at him.
Did you watching that?
No, I'm just looking at his Instagram page. He's got roaming the world on 2 wheels.
Yeah, roaming the world on 2 wheels.
Yeah,
Go watch. Yeah, everybody, go watch that after this video. Go watch Brandon Fairclough do the 50-foot canyon gap, and I watched the drop right after the next feature. You was just go, holy, like, man, we are amazing. And I remember doing that when I was a kid. You know, there's this hill, and I say we grab a piece of cardboard and we jump off this cliff, and then we'd slide down this hill. And then just kind of jump at the last minute. And it was at least more than 45 degrees. It was just like you were clinging on, and then we'd jump, and it would end up into this creek on the bottom, and the thing was just hit it right into the creek. And it's like,
oh, here it is. I see it. 50-foot canyon, insane line.
Yep.
Brandon Fickle, that Red Bull Rampage, 2019.
Yeah, 2019. He backflipped the canyon gap.
Wow.
It's got the perfect name too. It's what's the canyon called? I can't remember the name of the canyon. I was looking at it yesterday. It's like, and then he lands it, and then he does the next thing. You got to get out of that.
Oh
so and then you just drop. It's just a drop into a gully. It's like,
that's
and
crazy.
then he lands that. Now you look at Sumanek, what he did in that thing too, and he didn't even win. He came in third place. Sumanek and the other guy was. You look at what they do. It's like, wow.
I'm watching it now. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's just incredible, and men do amazing things.
Yeah.
I was up 100 foot on this crane once. We used to have to change the crane rails, the 480 crane rails up there. And I was in one rail, and my buddy was on the other rail, and he had just come over from some other company. And we were we had a big rainstorm, and it blew out a bunch of these 480 rails because the roof leaked. And I dropped my screwdriver. And I was like, oh, we're on these little carts. They're on the ceiling, but you're rolling around on a little cart. It's like a strap cart with wheels on it. You clip a hold of the stuff up there, whatever it is. I can't remember what the steel's called. And then you just roll yourself around. And he was like, he looked at me, and I was like, I got to go down. That means I had to climb down this 100-foot ladder, go over. And he says, nah. He unclips himself, and he grabs a hold of the thing, and he swings over like a monkey and puts a screwdriver on my. It was like amazing. It was like, no one's seen that. No one's seen you do that. You're 100 feet in the air, and you just like swung over and put a screwdriver on my work area.
Yeah.
It's like men do this all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you ask a female, are men, what do you men are what? They'll go, they're toxic, they're this, they're that, they're, it's like, men are amazing, man.
Yeah.
We do amazing things.
I know. Yeah, I'm watching him now. He's doing why can't he be from Cleveland or Utica or something?
Yeah,
it's got to be from the UK. That's all right. That's no, we like the UK.
Yeah,
so people can't take a joke. Okay.
Watch Sumanek, or I can't remember who came in second on that. I think it was Nico. Nico was he was
Nico
second.
Chonsky?
On it. No, and Nico Chasky, and then Steve Hogan. No, Nico Ragatsky, Nikola Ragatsky. He's from California. He's the guy that did the 1100 on a bike.
Yeah.
And it's like there was Tony Hawk's 930, and then Gansky's 1120, and then I consider Brandon Fairclaw's backflip over the canyon the next one.
Do they have motors on those bikes? They have motors on them?
No motors. They're pedaling.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing how he was doing 45 miles an hour to get over that.
Wow.
Yeah, that means you got to come on.
So good. How do they get? It's just their minds are so evolved.
Yeah, you just drop in. You're going straight down until you hit the. You're just going straight down, and you get 45 miles an hour, and then hit the jump.
What is that? That's just really good coordination. What else?
Oh yeah, a lot of practice,
courage, and coordination.
Yeah. Oh, it's a thing of beauty when you watch. You watch. What's the other guy? Swedish kid just do his thing in the slaloms, and it's like, wow, that's just a thing of beauty what you do, and it's like, yeah. But they're trying to make it. They're trying to sissifiy it now and give it a brand and make it into what they want, less dangerous and more money coming in. And
they're trying to corporatize.
They're trying to corporatize it and make it like girl friendly, so girls can do it too.
Oh my god!
And that's one of the things in the world. There is no Red Pill rampage for girls because girls can't do that.
Right.
So they're going to have to get rid of that, and there's no hard line for girls because girls can't do hard line. Right. But the UCIO this whole year has been making it so low. You have to have girls and male competitions, and we're gonna make it even, and it's never be even. You just got to lower the bar on the men.
Right.
And then make them like pretty boys that like fit that image.
Yeah. Sure.
And they're working on it. They're hardly working on it. Yeah, it's going to be, I think 2018 may have been the last year of mountain biking, real mountain biking.
Really?
It's like 2019. Yeah.
That's a good point you brought up, though. You're right. Women do lower the standard. They definitely do.
Yeah, we have to make it inclusive. We have to lower the standards.
Right.
You're going to have to start picking. That gives people the, what do they call that? When you have to make it by the monitors, you have to do that whole thing. And gatekeeping, you're going to have gatekeeping now.
Yeah.
And you'll be the better athletes may be eliminated because they don't fulfill one of the gatekeepers' social concepts.
Yeah.
And that's what ruins all sports. I mean, look what it did to the Indians lately.
I know.
I suppose they'll be rewarded for their social justice. So,
look at the Browns with that lesbian coach.
They took on. She's a drunk, and she's she's
right.
not.
She doesn't get fired. How does she not get fired for that?
Yeah, and then she gets like 2 weeks off. Yeah, take a 2-week paid vacation.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel did the same thing, and he got fired.
Right. And he didn't fit the image.
And then they said for the rest of his life he could never come back, and he was like he was always his one mistake. But Carly Brownson gets to have her probably get more mistakes than you probably ever know about. But that doesn't define her.
Yeah.
But it defines men. Your one mistake will define you for your life.
Right. Yeah. No, just stay positive and walk away. That's all we can do.
Yeah, that's it. Stay positive, walk away, do the MGTOW thing. Listen to your MGTOW brothers when they say something genius.
Sure.
Makes sense.
My father, leave me alone. That was a good. What a great. He had a nice comment. Leave me alone. Like when you
Leave me
get pissed
alone.
off, he'd say, "Leave me alone."
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave me alone. Just get away from all these simps and all these people trying to give you advice how to live your life. And
Yeah, that's half the problem anymore is you can't
Like
make
that advice.
anybody alone. They're allowed to torture you.
Yeah. Well, they hate to see us happy, and
That's what the IRS
You-
said. She's gonna
Oh
come
yeah,
to the house.
they sent me a $15,000 bill as soon as I started working. What a coincidence!
What a coincidence! Yeah.
I get this.
Making sure you're not happy, Joe.
I was because I was out of work for a year. I made like, I don't know, $5,000 one year. Then next year I made 100, right? And it's like, oh, he made the 100 again. Let's send him the check. Let's send him the bill.
Send him a new bill. Make it up. They don't have to be true.
Like, yeah, that's my
Jeff
life.
Bezos pays no taxes.
Yeah. That's my life. I make 120, and then next year I make 10, and next year so it's like back and forth. But they'll send me the bill when I get that. When I make the big.
Yeah, you didn't quite make enough for us, because they get 20% of that.
But yeah, you just navigate through things, and I tell you though, when you do reach that point where you're really happy with your life and you're doing what you want to do, you don't let anybody distract you or get you off your game, because they will. And then that's why it's never good to really talk about wins and brag about your success, because it doesn't get you anywhere. It just gets you more people trying to throw you off.
Everybody that can't do that is jealous of you.
Of course.
They want to drag you down, man. You're not suffering with the rest of us.
Right. Like sales kind of comes easy to me, but I know it's hard work. I know a lot of people can't do it because you have to have a lot of confidence. You have to have a ton of confidence. To be good at it, but a lot of people think they're good at it, but they're not. I
think that's the intangible things that you need to have. That thing that when they say that thing, salesmen have to have that thing,
right?
And it's an intangible, and then they get, it's like, oh, you can't be moving up in the world because you have an intangible thing that none of us have.
Right. You're supposed to not be. You're supposed to be someone who's right. Be like us. Don't be too confident.
Yeah. Don't be confident.
Don't believe in yourself. God forbid you believe in yourself. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make good investments for your future. Don't retire early because you have to slave like us and work forever.
Oh,
don't be like that. When really the goal should be to retire as soon as possible and just enjoy your labor. And
I'm just so grateful that MGTOW's around now, because most of the boys, if I would have had MGTOW when I was 20,
sure, I'd
have been a billionaire.
Yeah. You probably could have. You probably could have started your own company. You'd have to start your own company.
And I wouldn't have lost.
Even a millionaire is good though. It's fine. Millionaires, listen, people say, "Oh, millionaire is not what it was." Yeah, no, actually, no. If you're a millionaire, you're doing pretty good. Even $500,000, you're still
125 million would have been okay. I'll take quarter of that, but
But as a MGTOW, like you don't need your value. Every dollar is worth like what, $30 to every cent.
Yeah.
So you actually don't.
Sip money doesn't spend good because most of it goes to like shoes and lattes and
you see all the stuff. My friend got divorced. His second divorce, 20-year marriage. The second 20-year marriage. You see all the clothes and shoes and I mean, you're talking Gucci and all these kind of things. He must have had $40,000 to $60,000 worth of stuff in his wife's closet when they divorced. Like,
oh God,
she never picked up the stuff, Joe. She never picked up the stuff. How freaking maddening is that? You're sitting there with all her shit. Right. You don't know what to do with it. I told him to sell it on eBay.
Sell that shit on eBay. You can get the used clothes stores for them high end stuff.
Sure. That's all you can do. But how disgusting is that? How wasteful
stores? They give you a number, and as soon as it sells, you get some money and they get some money. I can't remember.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. But yeah, how wasteful is that, huh? The consumerism that women have, just always want something new. But if you're not making them happy, you got to make them happy. But anyway,
you just want to tell all women, like, hey, girls, if you can't go to Kmart and put on one of those $15 Kmart sundresses and you don't make that look good, maybe you don't look good. Yeah.
Oh man.
Because you should better shine in a $15 sundress.
Yeah.
It don't take that much. Men
you should see how they dress like in the summertime, like they just dress like such strippers. I mean, it's like I don't know, you don't even have, like I tell my friend, you don't even have to go to a strip club anymore. Just go join a gym or just go to the local grocery store in the
just
summertime.
walk down the streets,
it's
man.
better
Me
than
and
a
my
strip
friend,
club if you want to see strippers.
when we went out for dinner the other day, we were driving around, and the girls, some of the stuff that they were wearing,
it
was like I was horrified.
They're horrifying. They really are. They're just walking disasters. They're walking like time. They're walking like bomb. Like they're like time bombs. They're like, you know what I mean. It's like
Right,
they're like landmines. They're landmines.
That's a baby mama.
I compare women to landmines.
Yeah,
They're gonna blow up right in your face. Like they're just so.
Gonna step on that, and it's gonna get pregnant.
Oh my god! Like I was talking about my friend. Remember how like the look on his face, and not just him. It's my cousin, and then my other friend, and then my other cousin, and then and then my buddy calls me a day. He's dating this girl he went to elementary school who was a sweet girl growing up, but boy, he goes, she's a lying, cheating stripper.
She's a lying, cheating stripper.
I lived with her for 2 or 3 years, and it's like, oh my goodness, like the stories go on and on. Just observe your world, and then decide then if you still want to do it. But the guys will still do it; they'll fall for it.
They'll still do that, yeah.
But we try to help them, and I think we've helped at least one person today.
Yeah, at least.
More. So
okay, I think we're gonna shut this down.
Yeah,
all right.
Gurgling here. So what's the closing thought? Yeah, so bargaining. I would say eliminate those stressors from your life. I know we talk about harm reduction, but it doesn't have to be just obviously from women, but just any type of situation. If
right.
You're conversation with somebody and they're putting stressors on your life, just stop talking to that person. Just give it a rest.
Yeah, just look at things the way they are, not the way you fantasize them to be, and the contracts and those invitations to hell are always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And with
shout out, we got to do your shout outs.
Oh, we got to do shout outs. There's Jeff Burns and MGTOW Cowboy, thanks for coming around. Suthi, thanks for coming around. Hank the Man, thanks for coming around. Forrest J. Burns, thanks for coming around. JK, where's JK at? There's RP, thanks for coming around. I can't find JK's.
He's there, JK. Yeah,
I know.
Hank, you talked about. Oh, Hank was there earlier.
Hank the Man. Thanks for coming around, Claire.
Claire, yeah. Who is that? A knife? Is Claire holding up a knife? A smile and a knife. Wow, that's like a classic bait and switch right there. Looks like to me.
Classic bait and switch. I just can't find JK. I think he raised all the stuff.
You gotta have one JK, huh?
It's Jigsaw now.
Oh, it's Jigsaw. Yeah, he's evolved now. Yeah, he's starting his own religion. J Kennedy.
It's JK Jigsaw, the religion.
JKism. You can't find it? You can't put it up?
Yep, I got it. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Like Reuben sandwiches. That's his thing.
Yeah, Reuben sandwiches. He's starting a Reuben sandwich shop. That's good. Okay, thanks for coming around. Thanks most of all for being MGTOW and anybody that comes in later. I hope you get something from this, and stay strong, MGTOW. It's going to be, like they say, it's going to be a bumpy road. And thanks for being MGTOW.